Welcome back. I'm Mike,
And I'm Larry,
and it's good to see you here back on
grinding
Grinding
gears.
Gear. And today we
We got
have
to
a
work on that.
yeah,
You went off script on it.
I know I
You
did. I did.
went
I
off
did. I
script
did.
on
I know I
it.
did. Yeah, it
You
got all
said,
out
"Well,
of the loop.
welcome back," and
Yeah, I know, and that was the third line. And then I had to think of a third, a fourth line,
all
and
right.
there's only supposed to be four lines, folks.
I want to share this out. Hang on.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. Larry's going to take care of all the technicals and the socials here, and today, we're going to be talking a little bit about our cars and or automobiles over the years, which would be very interesting, at least for us. And that's the important part. So I've gone through hell and high water here to do some research and find out anything and everything that we can, as far as visual stimuli. To give you an example, and then we'll go over the different things that we liked and didn't like about each car that we owned over the years. Now, this is stepping back years, folks. Now, this is why you will be highly entertained by this heart pounding content. And you have no choice. You're here right now. So you might as well, where else are you going to go to find this? You can't find it anywhere else. I mean, look at Larry. He's right there. You can't find Larry. He's not, over there or over here. And don't forget about me. I'm also here. But I know a lot less about cars as far as the mechanical aspect of it. But I'm learning, right, Larry? He's
Yep.
taught me all about lubrication, fabrication, and all sorts of different a slew of things that had not really any fabrication or lubricate. We talk, but when we talk about life and everything else. So it's hard to get cars in there. This is why we've created grinding gears. And hello, Amanda. And don't forget, people, about the question Q&A. Now I'm gonna have to. I always forget.
Hey,
Let me
Amanda,
just take. Let's take a look.
can you throw this in our DM chat, please?
Yeah. Uh, See, I can't find it, Larry. What happened?
I was just trying. I was just getting ready to.
What happened to our
Or what?
my questionnaire? I
You
don't
have
have an
to
option.
put it in.
No, it's not giving me the option for the questionnaire. Dang it.
Um,
Let me see here.
do it
I
on
like our
YouTube
dang.
side. Don't do it in studio.
Oh,
Yeah, I always have a
okay.
studio open in the actual stream, and I turn the volume down so I don't echo.
Hmm.
But that's if I'm broadcasting. You're not broadcasting. You can keep checking volumes and shit when you're in.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mute that.
And what I usually do is just
And
pop the
no,
chat
it
out.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. I should be able to. I see. Should timestamp pop out chat. No, it doesn't. It
At the
doesn't work
top,
from there.
where it says live chat and top chat.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't drag it. I don't have a drag down for it anymore to this week. Sorry, folks, but this week YouTube has banned our question today. Maybe we utilized it too much, Larry. You know, I thought we were pretty good testers.
I don't think
And
we did.
well, hey Thunder, good morning, Misty. Good
Yeah,
morning
no,
to
it's
you.
not there.
We got to make a whole.
Oh.
We're gonna make a whole tractor episode, Larry. We're gonna talk about the Oliver 550. Yeah, that's
Uh,
right. I
yeah,
owned one.
I don't know
Yeah.
nothing about tractors. We'll have to get
Well,
someone
I
else
know a
to
little bit
go through
about
that.
tractors and not, and you know what? Maybe, we can share the knowledge here. Yes, good morning, everyone. Just as what you least expected, a grinding gear. And listen, we got stories to tell and things to share here, Larry.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's stretch back and
We're
jump
going
right
back
into
to
it.
the beginning, folks.
We're going,
In
that's
our
right.
youth.
And that's it. 15, 16 years old. All right. And as the show progresses, my
What
hair
up,
will
Thunder? Hi,
slowly unleash
Misty. Sorry.
more and more. So I want you to know that. So be prepared. But now I'm going to have to now bear with me during the show because it's going to be a constant back and forth of looking around and trying to gauge what the hell car we're looking at here. But let's see. Well, let's start off with Larry. Now, hopefully, now Larry and I may remember cars that we do not have on our lists. We have already preconditioned this list. All right. So we're prepared. But there may be a car or two that slips in. We'll see how good I am and see if I can get it to grab it and bring it up. I think I can do it because, what the hell? We got nothing to lose, Larry. So back to the beginning. No, Larry, what do you think or what do you remember as being your first car? And let's see if I have it in the old list. And if not, I am very prepared. I'm very prepared. He always does this, folks.
Very prepared. I'm still trying to share it out here. I'm still trying to share it out.
Don't mind the technical difficulties. Don't mind the technical difficulties. We could make a song out of that, Larry. And then we'll get back to Larry's first car. Now, yeah, I don't know why.
Amanda, that wasn't the chat I was talking about. I got it, though.
All right, what is this? Create highlight video. No, I mean, psht. No, yeah, top chat, live chat, Larry. There's no Q&A marker here. I don't know what they're doing to me. They're killing us here. Oh, wait a minute. No, I got it. All right, yeah, we got it. All right. I got the poll. I now remember. Now you got to activate it. All right. It's like the Wonder Twin powers. Activate. Remember that with the rings and the purple skin tight uniform. Remember that, Larry from back in the day? I know you remember that. Thundar, the barbarian, and the caramel horse that Ukla wore or rode.
Nope.
Oh, I remember. How do you not
No
remember the
idea what
caramel
you're
horse
talking.
and he's bouncing off the thing? And
What TV show?
Thundar, the barbarian.
I didn't watch it.
Well, what the hell were you watching back then?
I probably the news. What year was it?
The news?
I don't know. Don't forget, I'm older than you.
Yeah. Okay.
By 10 years at least, right?
Whatever, Larry. Then you should have been watching.
I stopped watching cartoons early. I watched He-Man and Masters of the Universe, but that's about it from there. I kind of stopped watching shit after, I started watching like Who's the Boss and
oh yeah, he found the
regular reruns.
That's when Cinemax came out, folks. And
I didn't need Cinemax, brother. I had a cable box. It got that one channel that was all fucking weird and shit. And you go in the back and you dial in your TV to get it to stop flipping.
You guys remember the sliders?
Like this much of a black and white screen of porn, and then it had the other end of this over here.
Yeah. I remember the sliders. There was like a white box, plastic box with like fake wood sticker on it. And it had a little slider with a little orange glowy thing. It was like a triangle. And you would slide it to the channel. But if you got to the higher channels, like the 60s, they would have the very lewd channels on there. And you would just, if you got it in between just right, you could get rid. And then you do the tracking when TV said tracking on it. And shit. Or, moreover, it wasn't even that. It was when your TV was connected to a VCR. That was the key to getting it, Larry, to getting the no lines in your adolescent.
Nah, it's just the vertical and horizontal hold on the back of your TV.
Well, either way, I had my method and it worked.
And then I found out if I took the cable box apart and played with the little dots that are on the board, I could actually get that.
Yeah. Yeah, the only way that anything like that happens if my dad ever ordered anything like that, and I wasn't gonna go up there and hang out with him during it. You know what I'm
But
saying?
we're
So
not here to talk about old TV shows, guys.
right.
We are here to
We're here.
talk about our cars that we've
Right.
had over the years.
That's right. Over the years, and through the years, and so
Gotta
Larry, like,
reel him back in.
reel him back in. So let's get started here. So now,
All right.
what again? Your first car that comes to memory, what would that be,
A
Larry?
mid
Let's see if I.
80s Dodge Charger 2.2 liter motor A car.
Okay. Okay. All right. And now, okay, it's not that one. Oh, it's not that one. But I can double that. See, I have
And
two
it
pictures.
was
I'll use.
burgundy with black on the bottom. It was two-tone.
Well, that no, the color's distracting me now.
Oh, all
See,
right.
like I got it. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting there. It's not that one. Say that again, just so I have the.
Mid 1980s Dodge Charger 2.2 K car.
I think. The hell is that? I don't know what that is, but I don't think that's the one. So let's move on from that. All right. So a
What do you
Dodge
mean
Charger.
move
So
on
what?
from-
No, no. I want. So tell us a little bit about this car, Larry, and I'll bring up the old file.
Well, when I
So
met
when did you
Lori,
get it?
she
Like,
had it.
how old were you? First of all, let's start from the beginning here. I mean, we don't want to.
17.
Ooh.
But it was
What?
Lori's car. It was the car she had when I met her.
Oh, so okay,
And we got married. It became my car too.
okay, and
Yes, that's his
that.
gaming headset, Misty.
Yes, Misty. Yes, it is. I can't find a picture of it, Larry.
Really?
Well, this is why. Oh, here. I got it. That's right. All right, folks. And now here we go. And as Larry narrates that shit, I made it full screen. I don't want to do that. How do I get that out of there? Jesus Christ. No, don't not get bigger.
You have to share it. I can unpin us when you go to do that.
Yeah. Well, all right, hold on. This thing. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got it. All right. So, all right. Now, Larry will tell us a little bit about this. Now, let me get this here and I will share it. This thing here. That's what I did wrong here. Okay. And I can't.
Look at that hair, folks.
That stupid. This thing here.
He's got the ultimate pompadour going on.
Why is that doing that? Oh, I see. Because it's. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Hi, Shannon.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, Ford does got some volume, Shan.
I do have volume, mane and tail. All right, let's take a look at this beauty here, Larry. All right.
What the hell are you sharing it on a phone?
No, I'm not. I don't understand why it's doing that.
Why is it not full screen?
It is full.
Is it full screen on your monitor?
No.
Okay.
Well, fine. Here, let me do that again.
Yeah, full screen on the monitor.
All right. Well, I got to do that first, and then I'll. Is that better?
Yes.
All right. All right, Larry. Tell us a little bit about.
Except
was
bottom,
that right? I was. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so the bottom from the door stripe down. I didn't have a Shelby. Okay, it had normal rims.
Larry, they don't need to know that.
Black.
No, I'm kidding.
From the door stripe down, I did not have the ground effects package. And it did not have the stripe on the roof. But yeah, that's pretty much the color of the car. That's the car right there.
There it is. See, I did pretty good. Hello, Layla Burlers.
Had a burgundy interior too.
Ooh, okay.
It was a nice car. I learned how to stunt drive in that thing.
Nice.
The power slides around turns and shit.
Not bad, huh, folks? I mean, it took me a minute, but I found it. All right. I love that, Larry. Now, what was some of the specs on that car?
It had a
If you
2.2 motor.
So how fast would you get up to 60? Let's talk
I
about let's
don't
get to
know,
the
dude.
onions and the
It was a
asparagus of it.
standard 4-cylinder Dodge. It wasn't fast. It was transportation.
Yeah.
I remember Lori paid like $8,000 for it. New from Reedman.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. $8,000. All
Yeah.
right. Go Lori.
Back when cars were affordable.
Yeah.
Because she bought it herself.
And did you what was the ultimate ending to that car?
Uh,
We'll talk about how we got it and then how we lost it. That's
all
an
right,
added
well,
bonus.
we traded it in on my very first new purchase vehicle that I was involved in.
Oh.
That would have been Lori's second new purchase.
Okay.
Which was a mid-'80s Jeep Comanche pickup. It will drive fire engine red.
Ooh. Okay. Very nice. Well, I didn't have anything like that.
Two-wheel drive.
My first car. Yeah, it only had 2 wheels, folks, and it still packed a wallop on the old streets
And
there.
I drove it, got into an accident, didn't even own it, 6 months, and ended up, it was majorly damaged. I couldn't go to work, and it got repossessed.
Oh, okay.
But in between that, well, see, I don't really remember when the
Well, speaking of the LTD, Larry, what a nice roller. My very first car was, in fact, the 1989 Ford LTD.
No, mine was that's cool.
Yeah.
That's like the Fairmont platform. They could be fast.
Now, this was the LX version, Larry. Okay. So this is this is like, it's almost like the Fox body of LTTs. All right. But this car was my first car. And I never it's considered it, oh, this is a piece of garbage or anything like that. It got me where I needed to go. Basic maintenance here and there. It really took a beating with me. But I loved it. Again, at 16 and you're free on the road for the first time.
Oh, you got the Q&A working?
I did. We have a question in there, and but ultimately, the LTD was great, but ultimately, in the end, I was on my way back from Aikido Jiu-Jitsu training and class, and this guy in a truck was completely on the wrong side of the road, like almost ran me off. So I had to dodge him, then I quick banked back to the left, and as I did it, the whole tail end of it just kind of kicked out of there. So it ended up getting totaled, and the guy even stopped that ran me off the road. The guy in the truck came back, completely smashed. That's how I knew he was smashed. And he's like, "Boy, sorry about that. Didn't see you around a country boy, like deep woods country boy." I'm like, "Sorry about it." He like goes in, lifts my truck, like my hood up. He's like, "Well, it looks like your radiator's smashed." And he's telling me all this stuff. He goes into my battery's leaking. He dips his raw finger in like the battery and like tastes it. I don't know. Like he literally was like sniffing it, or that he brought it up to his face. And then, "Oh yeah, you're gonna need a new battery, but let me see if I can get Buddy out here to tow you out of here and everything. But I gotta go." And he just took off, Larry. That's the last time I ever seen him. But the Ford LTD, 1989, I believe it was. So
mine was like a 74 or 75.
Oh, okay. Well then, speaking of 75, okay.
But you got to get to my next one, which is a mid-'80s Jeep Comanche.
Oh, okay. A mid. All right. All right.
86, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when it was a mid, like I told you, I kind of went
85, 86, same thing.
Yeah.
They didn't change for
I kind
many
of
years.
did. Yeah, I figured they didn't, so I went that route as well. Let's see here. It's not that one.
Next time we do this
yeah,
we'll get the pictures up and I'll put them in.
Well, that would have been easier. That's why
on OBS.
Yeah, that would have been easy.
I could have had us both on and had a big picture and just went next.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't arrange them. That's the other thing. I tried to arrange these, and they won't not let me, like, click and drag them. So I don't know what the hell why it did that.
Just pull up a
What
car. It don't
what'd you
matter.
say?
Just go down the list, pull up a car.
No,
We'll
what did you
talk
say?
about it.
What was the next one you said? The Comanche?
Comanche.
Well, I don't know if I have that, Larry, but what I do
Why'd I
have,
send you a list?
I don't know, and then you gave me no years. That's why I was like, well, all right, so here, let me, oh, yeah, I can't do that yet. There we go. All right, so here we go. This is the next one on Larry's list here, and this is going to be,
No, that's a Cherokee.
well, Larry, I
It's
mean,
mine was a Comanche pickup.
oh, a Comanche
But
pickup,
so I have one of those right now, but I have a Grand Cherokee.
right?
But I did have a Cherokee, but it was older. It was the bigger one.
Ah, oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
we didn't work this out real good.
What? This is
All
why
right,
it
you know
was.
what? You show yours. I'll find mine. How about
Oh,
that?
okay. Okay. Yeah, that works. Well, that's what I said. Like, that would be, funny. And like, let me see if I do have it in here, just in case. And I just missed it. I could have, but I don't think I have a pickup in here. Okay. I don't know what the hell that thing is. Oh, you know what? I do know what that is. And that's gonna be a funny one. Okay. So the Grand Cherokee, but you did own a Grand Cherokee. And what do you think about that car?
Uh, I have it now.
Right.
It's fine. It's comfortable. Runs it's older now, dude. It's a 97, so it has
Ah,
issues.
yeah. 98 was a good year for cars, Larry. Can't tell you how many 98s I rolled with over the years. But for some reason, 98 pumped out a lot of good vehicles. But let me try to think of my second car here where Larry gets set up here. No, that is the back. I can't believe I found the rear end of that one, Larry. Jeez. Let's see here. Because these, it's not easy to find all these pictures with these cars, believe it or not. Because a
Yeah,
lot of them, my
it's brutal.
ad blocker like my ad pop-up thing
That is
well,
what I
look at
had
that.
right there.
Whoa. 1989 Jeep Comanche Pioneer two-wheel drive in Colorado, by the way. It's for sale right now. And the Agri Fish Building in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. See, I
But
always
mine did not have a 4
it,
liter inline six. It had a V6.
oh, that's even more power. All right.
Not really.
Okay, never mind.
They didn't last long. Because the straight
That's all I
six
love.
was way more reliable. In fact,
Well, that's what I meant, Larry. Reliability.
My
All right.
Grand
I mean,
Cherokee right now has a
that's
straight
more
six in
power
it.
to have more reliability. You know, I mean, come on. Whoops. Well, you found that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
searched Google for it and
well, that's why
highlighted a picture.
that's why I got to learn how to freaking do that. Okay, so my second car. Uh, this is a fun one. This car I got from my aunt, and actually it was a hand-me-down from my sister, well, from my aunt to my sister, and this one was I don't know, I think this is a 19 something or who's a has it, yeah, a Ford Escort. Now, I think that I didn't have the flat tire. I mean, in the end, it did. But this car did not do really well for me, Larry. I probably had this thing for, I don't know, less than a year, 6 months. And the engine kept catching on fire. It happened to my sister, and this was not something like a user error thing here. And It just the engine kept catching on fire. I guess I guess there was probably an oil leak. It was just leaking upwards, not downwards. Go figure, auto mechanics. Um, but this car, I mean, it did get me around, for that short amount of time. But you can't listen. I paid nothing for it, so you can't really complain. And I didn't. I was just happy to have transportation. But it was no Ford LTD. That was my second car, the Ford Escort, and overall it ended up just dying out because it caught on fire, and I guess we couldn't. It was too dangerous for the children. So, all right. Well, Larry, Larry's up. Let's see what his next car that he can think of that he has, and he's probably working on some pictures, and that'd be even greater. Ah, so that's the old
It didn't have
LTD.
a vinyl top, but that was pretty much it right there. And it wasn't
Okay.
the Brougham. It was just the regular old LTD.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at
it was gold.
Gold. Okay. I'm looking to see if I thought I had an LTD in here, an old, like a different, I knew it was a different body style than mine. So I specifically looked for that. A flat tire is better than a flat. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd rather, yeah. I mean, I don't have a flat tire, but I have a flat ass, some would say. Uh, but yeah, nice LTD, Larry. Looking sharp. It's
I
no,
bought it for $50.
wow. All right. So far, my gross output of money has been 0. So I'm winning in that category. But that's about it. So yeah, the Ford Escort. Larry, what about your third car?
That was my third car.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yeah.
The boat area. Yeah. Well, I had a few of those too as well, Misty. My third car. Okay. What about your? Oh, then I did do my third car. Oh, that's right. Larry did a double take in there, which is fine. I'm not gonna, give him any fines or anything or tickets, but I am going to give him another car, my third car, and this car was passed down to me from my grandfather, God rest his soul. And this car actually did very well for me. Larry, let's take a look at the 1985 Chevy Citation. Now, I think a lot of us
I had one of those.
probably saying this is great because some of these Larry and I shared cars that we have owned, not many.
Yeah, but
There's a couple.
mine was gold.
Mine was gold too,
Yeah.
dude. The gold ones, you try to save an image as a gold one, and my ad blocker, like my security keeps blocking them because it's an unsafe site or whatever. So that's one reason it took me so long to catch a lot of these pictures, believe it or not. Hey, Cordy, good morning to you. We're looking at our old cars about through the years of the gears. Chevy Citation. Yeah, I got it from my grandfather. Ultimately, it was a really good car. I'd actually never had any problems with it. I think it's the air conditioning. It was the only thing I had wrong with it. It was gold. It ran like a charm. It was very reliable. And this is probably when I was 16, 17. I was driving this for a short while after the Escort. And then ultimately, it's just, I'm not really sure what happened to it. I'd be lying if I said I remembered, but I do not. But everything was nice with the car. I mean, these are back when cars were made of actual metal, folks. None of this fiberglass marshmallow stuff, But ultimately, I don't remember what happened to it. It probably got sold back into the old cycle. Larry, what about yours? What happened to yours?
Transmission went. I was delivering pizza.
Well, isn't that always the way? Look, and he's a man before his time, folks. All right, Larry should have did. Oh, rewards have been found. What is this?
That is a 1970 Buick Skylark.
Yes, it is. And
hi, Courtney.
this is Larry's fourth car. Ah, And look at that. Now, is this basically the same type of color
Well,
you have?
mine was blue. It did not have a vinyl top. It did not have those little louvers on the fender. But yeah, that's pretty much the car.
Nice, nice, nice. Now, what happened? How'd you get that? How did you? What you pay for that?
I bought that
Again,
off an old lady for like $300.
wow, man, Larry finding the deals out here, folks. Just so you know, if you're running really
Dude, this
cool,
was 80s.
yeah, in the '80s. Yeah, I
80s,
get it.
$300. You can get a
Yeah,
decent car.
yeah.
And mine wasn't decent. I would start it up, and it was the
I
rear 6x9 speakers were missing out of the back deck. This
gotta
thing
what?
smoked so bad on startup that it would fill the whole block with oil smoke. It would just bell. I'd have to start it up and get out of it because it would fill the car with smoke. So I'd have to roll the windows
Oh,
down before I
man.
started it. And this is in the wintertime, too. And then I
Oh
have to just
God.
wait until it cleared up. And
Of
I
course.
really didn't
Yeah.
go through that much gas. It was valve seals. But
Wow.
Ashley called it the Blue Bomber, right? That's what
Yeah, I
Lori
wonder why.
nicknamed it for Ashley.
Wow.
Because it
Buick.
filled the block with smoke on startup. That's why.
Yeah.
And I drove that thing around everywhere. I don't know why I got rid of it. I wish I wouldn't have. It was a nice car. And that was a Skylark that didn't have the stupid line down the side,
Yeah. How
going
about
from the
this
top
one?
of the front fender right down across the door to almost the back tire. I hated that line on those.
There you go, Larry. How about that? It's a nice looking car,
Yeah,
Larry.
it's a real nice looking car.
Yeah, I figured you'd like the ours. That's a Skylark. I don't know. That is a
It's
1970.
a GS.
So what's the difference now between that one?
That probably had a 455,
What was the one? What was the
four
engine yours
speed
had?
Aussie. Mine was a Rocket 350 in it.
Ah, okay, okay.
That's just what they called them. The Olds
Yeah,
was a Rocket. Mine was a 350.
that's
What I
sweet.
never had. I don't think I've ever owned any big blocks.
You bought that for what you say?
303,
$300?
350, something like that.
Jesus Christ, man. What happened? Now, what was the fate of that car?
I don't remember
Yeah, it's one of them. See, I don't really remember what the citation was either.
because I wasn't really a mechanic then. I
Oh,
mean, I
how,
did my own tune-ups and shit, and I
how
could
old
change the
now?
tire and put brakes on.
Let's keep everyone informed of like everyone's like our ages when we're getting these and
It was
everything. So yeah,
probably
like
like a rusty floor. I wasn't. I didn't know anything about doing metal work or.
you wish you still had it, in other
No,
words.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because that was the
I
best driving car I've ever.
yeah, that's nice.
It drove
Love
like a
that.
Chevelle.
Well, yeah. If I had the money, I would definitely save 40 grand for a Chevelle. All right, very nice, Larry. Fourth car. Uh, for me, I didn't have anything fancy for my fourth car. Uh, but I can tell you this, I didn't have for one type of car that had been able to stay was a van. I never got stuck with a van. Not
I
that I
had
mind vans.
4 or 5 vans.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had the van.
I've had
Um,
a full size Dodge, full size Chevy.
yeah.
Uh, I've had what did I have? I had 3 Ford Windstars.
Ah,
I love the
yeah.
Ford Windstar, dude. I found out I was a van guy because I could, take the seats out. Like my one van never had seats in it. I just hauled my gear around, you know,
Yeah.
for the
Oh, and the
band.
Windstar.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. How about that?
yeah.
Ah, yeah. Ford Windstar. How about that, Larry? I got better, huh? Getting better. Karen, hi.
Hi, Karen. Uh,
Karen's here.
Shannon wants Karen on the panel to read chat.
Okay. Let's see if there's any questions here. Hold on. Questions. No, nobody. Oh, Layla says, Larry, why do you braid your bud hair in the summer with your back hair? From anonymous mystery person in the chat. Oops, sorry about that. I guess, yeah, I guess he can't see who it is.
Karen, are you available?
Look at that, Ford Windstar. Now, how many Ford Windstars can a man own, Larry, and still call it prize, you know?
Call it what?
Call it a prize. Just a play on
I don't
words.
know. It's just what I found available for sale and went, yeah, they're cool. I've had one.
Yeah, or 2.
I just stumble into cars, you know.
Of course.
I don't go. I've never really gone just looking for any particular vehicle.
Yeah.
You just kind of stumble across it and go,
Yeah.
you take it for a ride and go, yeah, this thing's pretty decent. You pay for it and you drive it until the wheels fall off and then you get another slider.
Now, how much did you probably spend in vans now? And how old were you when you were in this van mode?
Oh, dude, I never paid more than $1,000 for pretty
Mm.
much any car.
Yeah.
Except my Jeep Grand Cherokee and my 4Runner.
Yeah.
Everything
Well,
else
good.
was just, they were sliders. You know what a slider is?
No.
It is a slider is a $300 to $500 car.
Oh, like this one here.
$600, $700 as the years went up, $800.
Yeah, like my 4th car, the Buick Century, which I bought off my mother at
I
the
had
end
one.
of my 17th year and of
Mine was
age.
mine was a little newer than that. It was more rounded,
Yeah. Mine
but
was an
I
80.
loved it.
Yeah. Mine was an 89 or something like that, or 1990, and I think I don't remember how old I was. I was young still. I was under 18 still when I was had this. It had the most boring interior I've ever seen that
Hi,
I can
Tara.
remember in a car.
Shannon
But,
says, I'm starting a sister channel called Grinding Gears on Bikes with Stabilizers. I
well,
think she means
yeah,
training wheels.
that may get questionable. Hey, Tara, what's
Hi,
up, girl?
Kathy.
Kathy, yo, yeah,
Those
uh-huh.
Buick Centuries were great
40,
cars, man. People don't
yep,
realize, like, if you can find
yeah,
like a 96 to 2000 Buick Century or the Sabre or any of that same car but under a different platform name,
yeah,
my God, buy it because they are so reliable, so cheap to fix, comfortable to drive.
yeah.
They're like
Yeah,
tanks in the snow.
you know what? You just freaking thank you, Larry. That was the first thing I wanted to say about it. This car, it's a front wheel drive, okay, but it's so good in the snow. And I had always been taught that front wheel drive is better in the snow. Now I'm hearing these modern cars, the rear wheel drives are very good too. So
I
I don't know what's going on.
I had a white one with a sunroof and leather interior, and I think I actually paid about 1,500 for that, and it
Yeah.
lasted me 2 months until the motor hydro locked. So I think I
Oh.
had a head gasket or something.
Oh. Wow. So what does
And
that mean? That water gets into the
into the
gasket and then
snow, into the
blocks the.
cylinders, and I
Now
tried to
how does
start it, and I didn't know it was hydro locked. I ended up pulling all the plugs, cranking it over, and water shot like 20 feet out of the fucking spark plug hole.
Well, wait a minute now here, Larry. Now, how does someone's engine become hydrolocked? Now, I've always heard about that it has to be flooded or to have
A
at least water
cracked
get in
head,
there.
head gasket could be an intake manifold gasket.
So when it,
On
so when
those, it
it,
was usually the intake manifold gasket
how does that get water in there? Does it
because it
just
would leak
it-
from the water runner into the intake runner and seep past the valves.
so that runs above it? So to fix that problem, engineers, is it possible to run the line under it so that doesn't
It's not a
happen?
line. It's built to, you have water passages. If you look at your intake manifold, you have air passages that go from your carb or your throttle body
Right.
into each intake valve cylinder port, right?
Yeah.
And in each end of the head, you have a water jacket port, which helps circulate water. And it has water ports that go up to warm up something with
Right.
throttle body.
Right.
It's just, I don't know because I
Yeah.
never dug into it. I called and had it towed away. It was the middle of winter time. I wasn't at home, didn't have my tools. I was like, I'm not fixing this. So I ditched it. I
Yeah.
sold it for
Oh, I
junk.
get it. Oh, I mean, and I knew
Got
nothing
300
growing up.
bucks, lost my ass on that fucking car, but it was a nice car while it lasted.
Yeah.
Like it had a dented hood and a grill was broken. I was all ready to go get another hood from a boneyard because I'm sure I could find a white one and get another grill. But that happened before I had a chance to, make it look real nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Tara, where the hell Mike's at there?
I don't know where Stitches is, Tara.
Yeah, we're still,
Tell him to get up here. We're just talking about cars that we've had in our past.
Yeah. Well, up to now too. We're all the way up to now. Like this is why it took me
We can do now if you want, because I don't remember the rest really. It was a blur between so many cars, dude. A Cavalier. I've had vans. I had.
Don't stop talking about it, Larry. You're throwing me all out of water. You're supposed to be going in by age. Now you're just throwing cars out.
I don't remember the order though, dude. You're talking 35, 40 years of owning freaking cars.
All right, so Larry, I'm going to decide when Larry had these cars, folks. This is a whole new thing here. Now, Larry's next car, his fifth car, right? Okay. Now, you're not going to be upset. All right. Now, I threw this in here because he wants to talk about it. Here's another one. Here. You know what? Here. We're going to really satisfy Larry's palate for Ford Windstars. Look at that one, Larry, huh? Did you own one like that?
Yes, I did.
Ah, the exact one, probably.
I had a gold one, and it was fully loaded, and it had both sides slider doors that were automatic.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice.
Nice, very nice.
I got that for about $400. It needed a rack and a power steering.
Yeah, it's a van, so I mean,
but then when the power steering pump finally blew, the rack got so bad, and I looked up how to change a rack in my driveway on a hill.
Yeah.
And you have to lift it up, drop the subframe down, and get it from I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Junk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I get that. I mean, I get that. And real quick before we move on, here's another shot of that Buick Century. That's a nice light sky blue, huh, Larry? Look at those.
That looks like the year we had.
Yeah. These are nice cars. I'm going to tell you, Buick has always made nice cars. They're great cars.
No one wants them because they go, oh, it's a grandpa car. It's one of the most reliable cars you could have bought back then. And if you could find one from an old man with 50,000 or 60,000 miles on, buy it.
Guess where I got it? I got it from my mother, who got it from who?
An old man.
My grandfather.
Yes. That's who bought them all, was old people. And they barely drove them. And you get in, and the interior's mint, and the motor purrs because they did all their maintenance. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Hey, it's Stitches Malone.
What up, Stitches?
Yeah, you have dealt with a lot of Well, Stitches, hopefully next episode you can get in here.
You know what?
You can get in here right now, Mike, and we can look up some cars that you own. Well, yeah. Now, Larry, I don't know what the hell Larry's fifth car was, or whatever line we're on, but you know what? He did own another van, but it wasn't the type of van you're thinking of, folks. Look at this one. He was a wild child. He was more wild than Enya on a Saturday night in Germany. And Larry used to troll around town in Potsdam.
Take the flames off, take the Kragers off, put stock wheels.
And that was yours, right? Was I
faded
close,
with rust? Okay, with a white grill.
But I was right about the model,
I had one of those.
Yeah, he had one of them. That's all.
It was a C30 or whatever a van is, a G30.
I don't know what the hell
I think it was. Four-wheel drive trucks are K, two-wheel drive trucks are C, vans are Gs.
Right.
And I had a G. I think it was either a 20 or a 30, but it had the heavy-duty axles, 8-lug stuff.
Oh, the 8-lug, Mike. Yeah. You hear that? He's a high roller. Yeah, and Larry loved this car. Now, how did you and Lori have any sexual contact in that van?
No.
Larry?
The only thing we banged in was the Jeep Comanche. We drove it into a cornfield.
Which I don't have a picture of. Dang it.
I showed a picture of it.
I know you did, but I don't have it, so I could bring it back up as a meme. and I can put your face in Laura's face.
No, you're not doing that.
All right, so we're moving on here, folks. Things didn't get any better for me. All right, over the years, it actually got a lot worse. From fire, as but I have to say, this was a bad one, Larry. This was a bad one for me. And let me just bring this up here. Oh, wait, no, that's your charger. That's not what I wanted. I want to get into this, this, this thing. Now, I know that it gets great reviews overall.
Yeah.
But this thing, now this you can consider user error.
I never owned a Honda.
This was a Honda Prelude. It was a 1989, I believe. And
very familiar with them. My buddy.
Very reliable, like super reliable. It was actually. I'm going to tell you what.
I tell you right now, they suck to work on because it had 112 miles of vacuum line under the hood. Okay.
What?
One of the diagnostic tools was a vacuum pump. You had to have one if you were going to figure out one of those. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you ever pop your hood and you see all those hoses going in? There was a big box. All the hoses went in. Oh yeah.
No, because listen, there's a story behind this Prelude. This thing, I don't know what happened to it. I don't remember. I think it was just fizzled into the wind from parental disappointment. But I'm still living at home. I think I'm like 19 at this point, right? 18, maybe 18. I was 18. I was around 18 because when I got that, I really started like experimenting with jobs. So I worked for a company called Kings Incorporated, and it was a door-to-door salesman job that you sold tiny little $5 knick-knack pieces of trash, which, believe it or not, people buy this shit, like a ton of people. So I would go, and we would not so much go door-to-door residents, we would go to businesses. And we had a trip into Trenton. And it was a very bad area of Trenton. We were not wanted there. I'll say that. And on the way home, we got in and got out. I swear I heard there was domestic things going on. We got the hell out of there. We didn't make, I think we made $18 between the two of us. And we had the bright idea, two white boys in Trenton at this time, at like 1990, whatever it was. No, 1990. No, that should have been
way. What were you doing to make money in Trenton?
1996, 7. I think 1995, 96. What?
What were you doing to make money in Trenton?
I was working for this company, Kings Incorporated, where they would bring in this like crap, like knickknacks. We would take a haul of it. We'd literally take a pick of what we wanted to try to sell. And then they would have a suggested one too. But it was such a free, like freelance business. You got paid daily. So like you would go out and you would have to you turn in 50%. It was like such a pen and paper business. It was ridiculous.
Stitches said Prelude's a girl car.
Well, Larry, I wasn't a man yet. I was on the cusp, on the brink of 18 and whatever it was. And so the ultimate end of this car, I got it for like 800, 900 bucks. I remember getting the mail one day, and my driveway was one that started at the top and kind of swooped down into like a thing and then came back up. It was like a good 50-yard driveway. It was long. And it dipped down and there's a creek. So I forgot to put the emergency brake because it was manual. So I forgot to put the e-brake on when I got that, and it drove down the hill. But a tree saved it from going in the ditch. But that's not what ultimately killed it. What ultimately killed it that was before, when we were on that trip on the way home, my oil light went on, right? So what do you do, Larry, when the oil light goes? You throw oil in, not knowing anything as a teenager.
Right.
Except, or what, there was something going on. Was it oil? No, it was transmission. Something was going on with my transmission where it was like really bad. It wasn't shifting. And it was like to the point I couldn't drive it. So I'm like, or maybe he's like, dude, you got to get transmission fluid. We stopped at a gas station, right? But stupid me, puts transmission fluid into the oil thing. And and it blew the engine up, like, ultimately, like, it
Yeah,
just
I
seized, like,
imagine it
over
would.
time. Yeah, it didn't right away, we actually drove home with it, but oh, no, we didn't, no, we didn't, I lied, we got it towed. We couldn't even drive it away. As soon as I put it in, the engine it was gone, and that's what happened to my Honda Prelude. Sorry about it. It was a little lengthy
So
story, but,
Stitches
I mean,
says
I
I
had
had
to.
a '67 Mustang when I was 18. Well, not everyone's lucky like that.
Yeah, Mike.
Stitches.
The hell? Yeah, he's always been a Mustang, but he drives a Mustang
I
right
was
now.
married, and you know,
Uh-huh.
when I was that age, so I was paying rent.
Now, Larry's next
That's
car
why I never
is
had
not
a nice car. I was always paying
is
rent.
oh, you did have a nice car.
I've had a
You've
lot
had
of
plenty
nice
of nice
cars.
cars.
I had
Let's
a
talk about
'74 Nova at one
oh,
point.
that's interesting. Now let's hold the horse here on that one. All right, a
It was a
'74
hatchback.
Nova. Now,
It,
ha, ha. Oh yeah, you're allowed to talk about it. Sorry.
yeah, no, it was a hatchback, which is why I never really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Because where are you going to find back glass for that? You know?
Well, it
Eh,
beats the hell out of me, Larry.
no,
I'm
and
not
I
one
didn't
of
like the big bumpers on it. I like the older Nova. It was 1 year. If it was a
yeah.
'73, I would still have it.
I don't
Like I
care
would have
what
never
year it
got
is
rid
in
of
the
that
Nova.
car.
Like it's.
What's up, Frank?
Frank, I got questions
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well,
welcome
I
in.
think we all have questions, Frank.
Yeah, go ahead and ask him. It's grinding gears. We got to grind our
Fuck
gears
was
and
in
find out
your
what the
head,
hell is he
dude.
doing. Frank, what are you doing
He's
over
gonna
there?
be like, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about."
Yes. Oh, here you go, Larry. Look at this gem. Now let's hold our horse here. Now, Larry owned one of these, and very jealous. Look at this.
No,
Now,
that's the one I wanted. That's not the one I had.
oh, this is a
You gotta look up
1970,
a
Larry.
74. I
Oh,
didn't
for the
have a
love of God.
70. They're
Well,
different.
you told me.
I
You know what?
74. I had a
You know what?
73, dude, I
I
think.
can prove it.
Or
I asked you for
74.
a list, and this guy sends me 1970 Nova. So
No, I
that's what I
didn't.
put. Yes, you did. Oh, the hell you did. And it's in the audio file. So
Well,
you
it
must have
was a
plopped that
set. I
one up.
just told you though. Look up a
I'm not even going to share
1973
it
or
then.
74. Look up a 74 Nova.
You look up sharing.
It was one of those with big bumpers, and the front end was different. It didn't have the little eye things on the side.
That one, that one is sick though. That's a sick car, bro. Like that. If yeah, I mean, hiya. I wondered when you said you said that or sent me it, whatever one. It's in there. I could see it. Doesn't matter. It was a mistake. But that's you're gonna pay 40 grand for that right now. Nowadays, still. You're gonna pay 40 grand for it. But what you won't pay 40 grand for, folks, uh, is the Larry's next car that he drove, and he had a lot of up.
Mine was not a Super Sport. I did buy Super Sport badges for it
Whoa!
before I got
Look at
rid of
that.
it. It did
Oh,
not
you
have
idiot.
Prager's. It had mid '80s Chevy Rallies on it.
How the hell you get rid of that?
I traded it.
Young and
Well,
dumb.
I gave it away. Actually,
Oh,
I was
that's
moving. It was either take
oh,
that or my
that's a
truck,
great
and that didn't
reason.
have a motor in it. So I
Oh,
gave it
well,
to
that's
someone because I had to put a motor in my truck. So I gave it to a dude I knew with a tow truck. I didn't have an engine hoist. So he came over and used his tow truck boom with the cable to lift the motor out and put another motor in. And I gave him the fucking car for that. It wasn't worth shit back then. And the back shock area where the shocks bolted in was all rotted out. It needed work.
Did you see what Mike said? He's owned 35 cars. And Frank, why are you wearing diapers? Just gonna say it. Right. So, Mike, we're gonna have to do a part 2 of this because I know that Larry and I forgot cars that we've owned, and we'll get
1,
Stitches in there.
2, 3, 4. I
What?
think I'm up to 4 or 5 in 1 year. I've had
Oh, wow.
4 or 5 cars tagged and ready to go at any given moment.
That's what happened with the LTD. Well, I had the LTD for a couple of years. I did have that one like my freshman and like sophomore year, and then I bled over to the others there. Um, But yeah, that's sweet, dude.
I don't like
I
the
wish
big bumpers. I don't like the
I
front
don't
and
give
the
a shit.
back
Look
end.
at it. Yeah, look at
Yeah,
that.
now
Look
I
at the rear
wish I
bumper.
still had it, but see,
Why
this
is
has
that
a
like that?
trunk. This is
I
not a
don't
hatchback model.
I don't like
I
that big
didn't
bar.
like
I
the
see what you're
I
saying.
didn't like the fact it was a hatchback.
Look at this. This is like
Because how are
Barbara
you going to put a
Streisand's
fuel
nose,
cell and a battery in the trunk when it's all open to the passenger?
which is
You,
fine.
you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
We'll talk about high school, Larry, you know, and what brings back memories for me is this gem that I'm going to bring up right now. And this thing, if you never owned one of these, folks, I would run out and you can't probably find one right now. But this car, I have never been robbed so many times. All right. Trying to find marijuana back in the 90s, 92, 93. I've never been robbed, maybe 94 too. Never been robbed so many times in this car. This car has seen a lot of high school post, like right in their action. And it is, oh yeah, the Chrysler, Fifth Avenue. Now, this car had power, folks, and Larry will attest to it. This thing I'm pretty sure it had a V6 in it. I can't remember. But this thing, mine had the white back leather on the outside, fake leather. It wasn't black, but leather insides, really comfortable seats, lumbar support. I mean, this
They're all
thing
man
had power.
cruisers.
It was a cruiser. It had power. I have talked my way out of so many cop stops in this dang car. It's absolutely unbelievable. And this car lasted me. I was going on my way to go for a date with this girl, Erin, and I was so excited. I was, oh, Erin's so, she's awesome. I can't wait. And I've known her for years. It was just like on a whim. We're going on a date. Friday night, just get off school, 3 o'clock, pull out the parking lot, smoke it in the car, drop my cigarette on the floor, had my left hand up on the thing, stupid idiot, as you do. I ran down and I grabbed it so it didn't burn. Technically, it was still dad's car, so didn't want to burn it. Saved the burn, but ended up hitting the curb. And let me tell you, folks, when you hit a curb with a car, it ain't like the movies. You ain't driving up on the curb. It's gonna pop your dang tire, and it popped both my both passenger tires right as I put. Now I live 25 minutes from home here, 20 minutes. So now I don't know how I did it, but I navigated my way on the back road so I didn't get pulled over, and they called my dad, so I get in super big trouble because what the hell? What happened? I wasn't looking at the road. Yeah, he's gonna let me take it out tonight for the date, right? I'm already stressing out because I can't go out. I'm figuring, oh, now I don't have a car for the date and whatever. So eventually I took the back road, got really lucky because we lived in a really rural area back then, and was able to scrape my way to the gas station that was around 2 miles from my home. They just happened to have some makeshift tires that just happened to fit decently on it. He slapped them on. I gave him 20 bucks that I had for the date, and I drove it home. And dad never knew. He never found out about it. And I was going like 10 miles an hour, Larry, the whole time because I didn't knew if I went faster, it would bend the rim.
Yeah.
So that was a Leave It to Beaver moment that I
Could
will
have done
never
more
forget.
damage than that, too. Fire comes off the
Absolutely.
bead, messed up the
Yeah.
fender,
Like I didn't get to go on a date with Erin.
or the quarter
But
panel.
God, she was a cutie pie. Shit. That was I always hated that moment in my life, and I still do. Now, Larry's next car that he owns, you may behold to yourselves. All right, you're going to buckle in, and if you own a horse, well, you might want to let it loose. You know what? Actually, let's go to here because we talked about it already. Larry and I will get this down to an art here. Where is it? We're actually catching up though, Larry. Really, to be honest, like if you consider, from the first, where the hell? Ah, there it is. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. There it is. Now this was my exact car. Now I don't know what color you had, Larry, but Larry and I both had one. A couple, I think they were a couple years different. But this car, the 1998 Chevy Cavalier, one of the best cars ever to come out of production in the car, and I'm gonna tell you right now.
Mine was younger than that.
Okay, so you were, yeah, I knew it was mid,
Or
but mine was a
older. It was older, I should say. It was more squared off.
mm.
It was like one of the first years it came out.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of yours in here somewhere, but this was my exact car. This car was absolutely incredible. I will never forget many a time um, that it has gotten me home when it broke down, but it didn't break down. It didn't. It made it home. And then I would call my friend Eric, and he would come and take a look at it. He's a matchmaker, and he just fixed it. And I, throw him a couple beers. He'd do like $300 worth of work. Oh, just I don't care, dude. Like Eric's shout out to you, Eric Stotts. And Eric, oh, another shout out. The reason this car eventually went was because the electrical went, and even the master mechanic Larry could not figure it out. That may be familiar to you. Like people may say, "Well, how could you not figure it out?" Dude, there's some situations where electrical, from the years that has been maintained from other mechanics, is just you can't. It just doesn't work anymore. I eventually gave it to a girl that for free. Um, I was like, "Hey, listen, the lights don't work." The only way the lights worked is if I took a roll of quarters and I turned the lights on, it wouldn't work, but the high beams would work. So I took a roll of quarters and I jammed it in, but not like not that particular one. You would push your fingers forward, and that would be activate the high beams, like the quick high beams. And, but I couldn't do that, so I had to actually put it on high, and I wedged it onto the high beam, and I ended up high beaming cops, and got pulled over for it. And, then he was like, You have to get it fixed." I called Eric, he couldn't fix it, and I lost the Cavalier. So I had to, go on to my next car, but I ended up giving this to a girl, for free. She was at the local bar, and she was something else. I was like, and she really needed a car for her and her kid. I was like, "Yeah, you could have it." I already had a lineup on my next car anyway, so you know,
I don't even
you know
remember
what's
what happened.
yeah.
And it was one of the, I wasn't driving.
Right.
I had a bunch of cars.
Yeah. Oh, that was my,
There's a couple I just remembered. I
I
had a
wonder if the
couple of Hyundai,
Oh, did you?
and I had a Eagle Premier.
Well, good. You can say these now, and we can review them later in the next,
I,
you know what I mean? Episode of reviewing our cars. Because, like I said, you just remembered, like me too. I'm remembering a couple. I'm not going to say them, but I'm glad you're saying them because then I can remind you later what they were. You know, but yeah, I mean, in Larry, and if you can believe it, yes, Larry may be big and rumbly, and the big bear, but it doesn't mean that big bears can't fit into small packages. And this is why Larry opted for the one of a kind. Can't you do it? How you do it? Pinto. Yeah, that's right, Larry on the Pinto, and he was. But that is a nice Pinto, though, Larry, isn't it? It
yeah,
wasn't quite that, folks, but.
mine had about
It,
10 pounds of Bondo in the back wheel well.
nice. I love. You
And it
notice a
was
little.
gold colored or rust,
Was it
the
really?
Ford rust color,
Yeah, I like the paint job on it. That's nice. Some color paint. That may be a wrap. I'm not sure. It's probably a wrap at this day and age. Oh, your mom had a Pinto, Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them caught on fire. They would explode if they got hit from the back. Catch fire. Gas tank's right there. There was the gas tank.
Well, I hope you feel better, Tara. Yeah, and
Of
Larry owned
course
that.
she did, Stitches. He had a 72 Pinto with a 351 in it. I had a 4-cylinder.
Was that like that?
Stitches
I don't
was a
know.
gearhead, and he probably had money to buy these.
We're
If
gonna
I
do a
had money
special.
like that when I was younger and didn't get married, oh yeah, I'd have had some I had opportunities to buy Like this one, it was a 60-something Deuce, like a Nova, but before they changed the body styles to the round ones.
Yeah.
This thing was worked.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I only wanted 1,100 for it. I couldn't.
Oh, man, that's
I almost had
heartbreaking.
a killer Camaro. It was a 70 or 71 Camaro with the killer tail on the back, killer Camaro tail. It was a split bumper, I think. Might have been a solid bumper. I don't really. It was black thing, beautiful. I wanted $5,000 for it.
That's the same with me, dude.
My paychecks all went to paying rent and food.
Exactly. My
I couldn't afford nice cars.
My boss and friend John Becker worked with for years, and he was a Mustang head. Like that's what he owned. That's all he owned. Besides, like his dailies, like a G. I think he owned a Jeep Cherokee. Actually, a Comanche is what he owned. That's funny. But he didn't try. He only drove the Mustangs to work once in a while. Never took. He has a still. I guarantee he still has the Shelby in the barn. But it's like a super rare one. He had to wait like 3 years for whatever it was. But yeah, he was gonna sell me. I can't even remember the year. It was like a 78 month like fastback, and it was fucking black, but it was not painted. It had a bunch of like the stickers on it, like like mechanic shit sticker. I can't tell you what they said were, but it was, dude, it was perfect the way you had them. But it was like that old rustic, like like the body's been sanded down, but not like kind of like it was just old, but it was perfect. The body was perfect, and
Why's your
it ran
camera off?
like but $5,000, and I couldn't come up with it. I don't know what happened there.
Stitches says I paid $500 for the Pinto in '87. I already had the motor. Yeah, did you have fun keeping that thing cool? Because I knew someone who had just 302 in it or something. That thing was always fucking running hot.
Well, John used to when John's heat went out in the one Mustang. He just took. I don't know what he did. You would probably know. He took it so that the heat from the engine came into the cab. I don't know how he did that, but through the vent, through his through his glove box. And that's what warmed him up, and he said it worked like a charm. Like it didn't keep him warm, but it kept him warming up. So that was always interesting to me. Yeah, we'll have to have a special episode, folks. We'll have Stitches on, and he can share his 35 cars. Because I like going over these cars. We can look at a bunch of different
35
cars.
in 1 year, he said.
Yeah, what?
That's what he said. 35 in 1 year.
What the hell? Well, this is something that Larry didn't have 35 of in a year. Let me see. Oh, here's one that Larry forgot that he owned. Or I did my. This is why I did my homework on it. Now, this may not be the exact one, but I think I may have gotten this one. Pretty close. Don't forget about the Oldsmobile Omega. Look at that. Now, how did I do, Larry? I think that's kind of what you own, and I like that car.
Mine was almost burgundy, kind of goldish. I don't know what color. I don't. But yeah, no, I had 50s on the back, skinnies on the front, air shocks. And it had a Rocket 350 in it. I loved it. It was my Nova. But see, big bumpers again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like that other one that when you showed it. I didn't like that.
What, the other Nova?
Yeah, I was like, well, who cares? It's a Nova. Then I looked at it again, and I was like, I can get it. Like
I got tossed around throwing a Chevy motor in it, just doing it Chevy, but it was still an old Mega. It wasn't. Not what I want.
Yeah. Jeez.
I used to, but I always had like 3 or 4. I always had 2 tagged that Lori drove one, I drove one, and we usually had a spare.
Yeah.
That ran. I didn't keep them all tagged. I had 1 or 2, 3 spares, and then when one of my cars broke down, I would just transfer tags on.
Yeah.
It got to the point where, I moved to a place that hardly had any room, and I just couldn't keep them. You know what I mean? If I lived out in the middle of the
Yeah.
country, I'd probably still have all of them because I
Stitches
wouldn't have
has
sold them
9
for
cars. Like,
junk.
what the
I
hell?
wouldn't have called the tow truck just to get it the fuck out of here. I'd have a pile of them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know,
And I don't doubt it.
give me a field,
I
I'll
mean, what
fill
the
it.
hell?
Give me a barn, I'll fill it. You know.
Fill it with things like this next upcoming feature that Larry, I probably didn't own, but I hope maybe he did. I mean, I did my best homework. How about this one, Larry? A Camaro, and you can't go wrong with a
You got
Camaro.
to
Look
go
at that.
earlier.
That's nice, though.
You got to go earlier. I never had one of those. I worked on
What
one.
the hell?
I
What
worked on
you
my
work? I
neighbors.
worked on one once. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
I
get that
worked
right
on my
out of there.
neighbors all the time, and
You didn't own it.
Lori said to me
Look,
the
I
other
mean,
day when we were talking about cars that we've owned, and she goes,
yeah.
"Remember working on Kelly's Camaro?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Remember coming in the house and saying I'll never fucking own one of those piece of shits?" And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Yeah."
I wasn't there for that one, but I mean, I can
No, I
understand it.
had to
Okay.
earlier,
Yeah.
or
Well, this is why
look
it
up
would have been nice if you just looked up your own
70.
pictures, Larry, and didn't just send me text. Uh, he
It
says,
it was
he
like
says,
an 81,
hold on.
82 Camaro. I had a couple of them. They were the fiberglass bumpers, and I told you this.
Yep, you told me that.
I didn't tell you in that. I told you in a
Oh
call.
no. Let's listen. But when all calls fail and your memory doesn't work,
Hi, Punky.
yeah, you're lucky, Larry. I can't find it right now. Look, this is his list. I'm like, can you send me a list of cars and the models and years? He says, Camaro Cutlass Skylark Nova Cavalier Vans Puck ups. And by the way, since that's how you want to be, Larry, yeah. How about this? This is this is Larry's crowning jewel here. This is what Larry. I mean, this thing, he would die for this thing. Friendship, forget about it. Because when you have a Ford
Fuck
Fiesta.
you.
All right, and you're Larry, folks. Guess what? Yeah,
I had a
now you
white
can
one.
have the imagery of him and that thing.
I had a white one.
Too bad. That's what you're driving, Larry.
You want to know what's worse than that? A Chevy
Hey, it's got the
Aveo.
black stripe. I even made it orange for you.
I had a Chevy Aveo. A
Well, that'll be for the
2000
next show.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, Punky. See?
Yes,
Yeah.
Punky, I did fit
Let's
in
see
that.
the question
Very
and answering
nicely, actually.
section
I had
light
a
up for
pumping
this one.
stereo in it.
I love it. But yes, Larry manhandled his way through that part of life with the Fiesto. The Pinto would have done him justice next to that one. Wow. But in between, Larry owned a bunch of vans, a bunch of different things here. And there's another picture of that Fifth Avenue. I don't need that now. I had back pictures of all these things as we were going through and talking, but oh, here's one. Now this is something Larry owned. Oh, wait a minute now. I think Larry owned this. Larry, did you own this? Listen, hey, this is be quiz time. Larry, did you own this here? Look at that.
Yes, I did.
Aha! So I'm not that bad. That's the old Oldsmobile.
It was
Crown
a
Vic.
little older than
Or
that, though.
yeah, no, not the Crown Vic. I don't know why I said Crown Vic.
It's an
I
old
don't know.
Cutlass, but I had an
I don't
older one. It was like a 76 or something.
Was this the Cutlass Supreme, Larry?
No, I just had a Cutlass.
Oh, he just had the Cutlass. Oh, he didn't have the old. But then again, this line. Now, how old were you when you had this car? You think in your 20s, 30s?
20s.
20s.
I love that car
Yeah.
too.
Sorry, folks. We were trying to give you guys ages. Like right now, we're in our 20s right now, so we're almost at the 30s. Yeah, Cutlass Supreme. That's a nice car. Cutlass is a nice car, no matter if it's a Supreme or not. Okay, the Supreme jerks can get the hell out of here. A Yugo. Have you Stitches? We're having a special. Don't tell everyone because, and I bet you Stitches owned a Lay car. Larry, remember that thing?
Yeah.
The Lay car. I never owned one, but I used to see him around in Bethlehem all the time. So there was a couple people. Let's see, what the heck was my next car? I think my next car was. Oh, and here's another one Larry owned. That's going to be A jailbreaker for him. Oh, you know what? I did own. Oh,
That was the older
yeah,
Cherokee that I got from Lori's dad. It was a
I couldn't.
two-door, blue with
Yeah,
white, just like that.
I didn't take the picture, Larry, but I saw that exact picture,
It
and
had
I almost snagged it.
blue and white, or no, it had white wagon wheels.
That shit's
You know,
sick,
like
bro.
everybody put wagon wheels on a four-wheel drive, but it
I
had
like it.
Dana axles. It was a good one. He had a straight six, and he upgraded the drivetrain, heavier duty, when he bought it.
Yeah. Funky, how's your stomach doing? I hope better. Well, you know what? Now I want to back up because I'm going to put this on here. Now this was the whole shebang here, Larry, when I bought that. Now, I didn't buy this. A 91 Toyota Supra Turbo. This was my first taste of the Supra. And it was exactly this. This is exactly the year, exactly the body, exactly everything's exact. And to be quite honest, I mean, we paid, I think, 8 grand. My father bought it for me. This actually was, and I know it's been confused with this was a little earlier, but this was around when because I lived at home with my parents till I was about, I would say probably 21, 22 maybe. And because I did a lot around the house and who cares? I was saving money. I don't care. But I was always not the best kid in school, right? And I would get into trouble out in the quote unquote hood. Hi, Teeter.
Hi, Teeter.
Um, but I stayed out of trouble. I had I had already graduated high school a couple of years. I was like 20 and prior. And so he's like, you've been holding down this job. I'm really proud of you. And I know you're having car troubles with the Escort. And then all the cars I've showed you already that I owned, he was there for it, so he understood. And he sprung like around I think it was 8 or 9 grand for this Toyota Super Turbo this 1991. Well, long story short, I had it about 6 months. The dealer I bought it from, I had a warranty from, I'll say it, Penn Warranty, PENN Warranty. They're scammers, and they're a bunch of, they are not trustworthy. Don't ever get a warranty from, if you're in Pennsylvania, with Penn Warranty, because if it's a big thing, what they'll do is have someone call you and say they're covered, and then they'll have another guy call you 2 days later and say, "Oh, no, that guy was a trainee. I'm the actual manager. We
So what
can't,"
is that, a Pulsar?
It's a Toyota Supra
Oh,
Turbo.
you had one?
The hell's what's wrong with you? A
No, it's
Pulsar?
fucking European crap. I don't
A
Japanese,
Pulsar.
whatever.
Jesus Christ, Larry. Get with the times. No. But basically what happened was only had 80,000 miles on it at the time. This was like 1998 at the time. So great mileage. It was a Toyota. It was a Supra. It wasn't my dream, the Mark IV, but it was a Mark III. And this is the Supra you cope with when you can't afford the Mark IV. And it's true. And Netgear said it.
You want to hear something fucked up?
But this thing, no, not yet until I'm done my story. Then I will hear something fucked up. But my story's over in about 10 seconds. Anyway, the crankshaft went bad. They were racing it. They welded it really well. The dealership didn't notice it. I bought it, got a warranty. Well, the warranty said it's not covered because the thermostat is what made the crankshaft go bad, and the thermostat was not covered, even though the crankshaft was covered.
All
And
right,
it would have
Karen,
cost
have fun.
four grand to replace it, and we
She's
didn't
gonna
have
go
it.
watch TikTok and get high. We're too boring for her.
Well, that's because she knows that. Yeah, you know what, Karen? Then guess what? Next time when you're in the parking lot before work and your car starts to sputter and you hear a noise, you know just where to turn, honey. We love you, sister. Have a great day. Right, Larry? That's how it's done. You
All
go get
right,
it.
so you know that blue Jeep I just showed you?
Oops, sorry. I forgot I had it on.
You
It's
know that
just
blue Jeep
working out.
Cherokee I just showed you?
Yeah.
I traded that for the Fiesta.
Okay.
It got
Why?
such poor gas. It had rot. And like I said, I
Oh,
didn't know
but
how to
yeah,
fix
come on
floor
now.
rot and shit then. I
Yeah,
was
of
stupid.
course.
I was a young
That's
kid.
no, that's not
So
necessarily
I
stupid. That's
traded it,
what you do.
and
You
it
got to
just
do.
got to be like it needed an exhaust. It needed, and I didn't have money for any of that. So I
All right.
pulled into a car dealership, said I want to trade this in. I
Yeah.
said even up for something, and he pointed to the
Oh.
Fiesta, and I went, okay. I took it for a test drive, and
And
they
it
got
ran.
great gas mileage, and it
Yeah.
ran.
It got like 30 miles a
Yeah,
gallon.
it was awesome. I drove that. I wheeled that fucking. I like the
And it
smaller little fucking import cars. I
for
do
years, didn't it?
for my
And
gas
you drove
mileage.
it for 3 or 4 years, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's what a good cheap Ford will do. And people can
and
say what they
I
want,
don't remember what
but
happened to it.
Teeter had a question here in the question section, Larry. Let's go over this real quick for our sister Teeter. Explain how you park a truck with brakes, change calipers and rotors, then have no pedal after bleeding the brakes. All right, Larry, that's all
Here's
you.
a stupid question, and don't
Here,
get
pin
offended.
yourself when you're explaining it. Pin
Y-
yourself when you're explaining the Teeter.
y-
That way they're not distracted by the car. That's a nice Camaro.
Okay, so
What is that? Camaro Thunderbird. What is that?
do you want me to answer Teeter's question?
Yes.
um, here is this is a stupid question. I don't want you to get offended. Did you put the rotors on? The right on the left and the left on the right? In other
Well, like
words,
shoes?
are your leaders pointing up in the air? I've seen that mistake. That's why I asked.
Oh, well, that could be a common mistake. Yeah.
Not a common mistake, but it happens. Somebody's not
Well,
paying
I'm saying
attention.
if
They
you're
do.
not doing it as a
Teeter's a
mechanic
mechanic,
every
though. I
day.
don't think Teeter made that mistake.
Yeah,
Teeter's
I
been
don't think
working on
that you would
trucks
do
for
that either.
now. Never mind, Teeter. I know you did.
Yeah, exactly, Teeter.
You have no
Jeep equals
pedal at all. You put calipers on it? She said, right? What was the question?
yeah. She said, I'll go back. Let's revisit Teeter's question. Teeter says, explain how you park a truck with brakes, change calipers and rotors, then have no pedal after bleeding the brakes.
I think I
Uh,
know this, but I think I just learned about this, and I don't
Ooh,
think I
let's
know
see.
everything about it.
Oh, let's see what Larry's. Well, what's your analysis from the knowledge that you do know? Listen, there's no
The
right or wrong.
the and Stitches, if you're in here, could you
Yeah, I gotta pee, Larry. I'll be right back. Sorry for. I'll be right back. And then we'll
well,
continue
because
with our.
you can't bleed it if the bleeder's pointing down. You'll always have air in there. That's why I asked that. But how did you bleed them if you didn't have a pedal? That's my next question. Gravity bleed or vacuum bleed? And does it go to the floor and like nothing? I have heard that sometimes some of these proportioning valves have this little reset. It's a whole thing if you look it up. Sometimes they can get locked to one side. And I never knew this. I just found this out like a month ago, maybe. Somebody had that problem and I found that out. And there's like this, you have to take this thing out, use this other thing and put it in. It resets the little valve inside, and then you could install it back in the car. Do the back brakes work? I need you to type in the chat. Like, I don't know if it's the proportioning valve deal, but I've never had that happen to me. When you pump the brake ups, bleed them, start the truck, the pedal goes to the floor. Okay. I know what that is. Is it on the floor when you first start it, or right as soon as you hit it, it goes to the floor and stays there? And I'll explain why. I had a Ford Bronco that the power brake booster went bad. And when I hit the brakes, it would keep the pedal in. It wouldn't let it return. But that would lock up my brakes, you know? So it's not quite the same, but... Okay, and I've had this happen too, Teeter. Pull in a car, do just what you said, replace front brakes, front calipers, whatever, bleed them out. And bleeding, like, you can, if the master, like, you have to watch master cylinders. That piston inside the master cylinder, if you press too hard when you're bleeding and shit, sometimes you can, like, fuck up the little rings and whatever, and then it'll have nothing. And I did that. I mean, I did that. I ruined a fucking master cylinder on a car just doing front pads and bleeding.
Whoops.
Calipers.
Yeah. Brakes are going to be expensive, man. If you don't take care of the brakes, folks, you know, a $300 to $400 job will turn guaranteed into a $1,600 job, $100 job.
So she
Because it
says
happened to
she
me.
has no brakes at all.
How about the brake lines? I wasn't here. I didn't hear. I just got. I had to hit the toilet real quick.
Yeah, did you pop a brake line?
Yeah, it could be the brake line. I had trouble with the Cavalier with that a couple times, and the reason I had trouble with the Cavalier, the only reason, is and I will speak for days on the 1998 Chevy Cavalier. I'm telling you, folks, you got a teenager or someone
All
that's
right.
like, if you can
I,
find it, I'm telling you, it'll
I,
go.
I got a good question.
As long as it's not at 300,000
Did you
miles, it'll
bench
go up.
bleed the booster? No, you wouldn't. You didn't change the booster. You just changed the calipers. Never mind.
Yeah, it was from the snow. That's why. No, because of the ice, it hit the
If all
brake
you
line.
do is change pads and rotors, how did it get air in the system? I changed the calipers also, Stitches. Sorry. Yeah, she did a caliper swap.
All right.
But it's going to the floor and I guess no pressure, you know? I'm thinking when she bled it, she fucked up the master cylinder. That's what I'm thinking. It has happened to me. An older master cylinder. And, you know, this is why I always, whenever I bleed brakes on anything, it's very slow pushing it to the floor to let the fucking fluid out.
Now, how do you go
If
about
you
breeding
just
brakes?
whale it and it just goes,
Breeding
yeah,
brakes.
you can fuck up the piston, little seals, master cylinder.
Yeah. I never bled brakes before, Larry. You know?
I don't even, you know what? Or everyone says, pump it up. Okay.
Oh.
What happens when you pump up brakes? If you have air, it turns the air into tiny bubbles. Okay?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The best thing is with your foot off the pedal, I believe. Have someone else or whatever crack the bleeder, and you slowly push it to the floor. And you get to the floor and you go, floor, they tighten it. You let up. And then you repeat it. When you pump it like that, you're just busting all that air into small bubbles. I've never had an issue I had issues bleeding brakes when you used to pump it up, right? And everybody pumps it up. I don't know why they do it. It's a lever pushing fluid. You're trying to push the air out. You don't need to build pressure to do that. When you push it, the piston's going to push fluid down the line regardless of whether there's pressure there or not. Okay. So when you get to the bottom and they tie it off and it comes back, it sucks fluid from the master cylinder into the piston. And then you're just pushing more out. And you'll get bigger air bubbles and shit out when you do it that way.
So is that why when people pump the brakes, say you're just in park or the car's even off, you can pump the brakes and it gets stiffer and stiffer? That's just the air bubbles backing up.
Yes.
Is that what that is? It
Yes,
pretty much
exactly,
makes the
Stitches. You push the pedal down once. And yeah, you could push it and get pressure, but you don't
it's
have
not going to
to.
break.
You know, you
Yeah.
could just crack it, push it. But yeah,
Oh,
Stitches is right. You push the pedal, so you get some pressure if you want
ah,
to, and then open the bleeder and you're just pushing fluid out. Everybody pumps the brakes because they think it's going to build more pressure to push more. No.
hmm.
The teeter broke it. Yeah.
Uh, uh, boy, I remember when Teeter had that accident with the truck. Remember that? That
Yeah.
flipped over. Yeah, that was terrifying.
You got another master cylinder? Now, I've had to pump the brakes stopping. You know, when you have a leak or something and you got a little air in the line and you don't know it and you go to stop and it goes a little too far and you pull it back and go. Or I've had ones where the master cylinder fades. You're holding the brakes and the pedal just starts going to the floor. And then you start moving forward and you got to like pump the fucking brakes up real quick.
Yeah, Punky. Yeah, I don't pump. No, normally you shouldn't need to pump brakes. The only time I would ever pump brakes is in the snow. Like if you're going too fast, you're just trying to slow down, you start sliding. Like if you're ever on the road, let me tell you, I've driven 40 years in the Northeast, and I can tell you that the winters haven't changed since I've moved to the South. But you know, you're on ice. You can't do nothing. It's going to take you where it wants you to go, where where the momentum is going. But you know, if you're on snow and you start sliding off, and you brake and you're starting to slow down, and then you start noticing, oh shit, I'm going straight off into the road. Just take your foot off the brake. As soon as you take your foot off the brake, the car's going to straighten out. Now you're on a
Usually,
bendy
unless you're
road.
too far gone.
Yeah, unless you have to know what you're doing when you're driving in snow. That's why they tell you to stay off the dang roads, but it never fails. You always have a truck with four-wheel drive that's right in your ass on the way home from work, and you don't have a four-wheel drive. And it can be very intimidating. Moreover, not so much that, but more just the anxiety filled because it's like you're not trying to hold anybody up. Not that you really care, but it's like at the same time, it's like someone will looking over your shoulder while you're
Teeter,
doing math homework. Like, come on.
if I could suggest this, master cylinders aren't really that much money. Just swap it out, rebleed. This way you know you're good, especially if you got new calipers and shit.
Mm. Calipers.
But look into the proportioning valve deal. You know?
Yeah.
But going to the floor like that's telling me you're not getting any pressure when you push that piston in. All right, so this here on the screen is I just typed in I don't remember 81 Camaro because it's got the fiberglass bumper.
Well, I have one. I have one for that. Yeah, we'll use yours right now.
Yeah, I had two of these. I had a white one and a blue one.
Ain't that a Firebird, Larry?
It's not a Firebird, folks.
The white one I got did not have a wing on it, like this one doesn't have a wing. So I went to the junkyard, and
I
there
like
was
the wing.
A white one in there with the wing. So I stole the wing, and I had to drill the holes and mount the wing on the back on the trunk, and I did. Put air shocks on it, put 50s on the back, put pizza cutters on the front. You know, Prager's.
Nice.
You know, the fronts. I couldn't afford real skinny tires, so they were Volkswagen tires, which didn't last long on a Camaro because of the weight.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's nothing wrong, Larry, with a Volkswagen.
Well, it was a VW Bug. Like, it was a thin tire, but the rim was thin. I bought them. They fit on the car, and they were real skinny Kragers.
What kind of rims did you run on there?
Was fucking deep dish Kragers with. I had tires on the back like that. Here, I had to jack it up or they would have rubbed. So that's why I put air shocks on it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little rubbing.
350 grand.
Yeah.
It was both of them. I had a blue one too. I love the way they drove, man. You sit down in it. the hood's long, but I like Novas because they got a lot more trunk space and the hood's short.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I like Novas better, but I love driving Camaros. That's one of the best driving cars, I thought.
Yeah.
For cruising. And it was comfortable. It didn't hurt my back.
I was never in one.
Didn't hurt my knees from resting up against the door in the fucking center console. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was never in one.
Just comfortable. I loved them.
Bogey and Ozzy's
I don't know
mama.
if I, you know, they kind of sit low to the ground. So getting in and out of them, you know, once you get older. I had no problem when I was younger, though.
Oh, a bug. You owned a bug once. Oh.
Novas overstimulate you? Why? There's fucking gorgeous cars.
Yeah, they
Not
are.
as big as a Chevelle. Chevelles are nice, too. That Buick I had, the Skylark, was the Chevelle platform, and it drove like a Chevelle, so I know I would love to drive a Chevelle because I love driving that car. That was cool, too. It was just a slightly bigger car.
There's another car Larry owned.
Oh.
The Volkswagen Passat.
I get it, Karen.
Now, I've never owned
Gail.
a Passat. Yes, Gail. Gail has owned a bug.
That doesn't look like mine, but we'll go with it. I had a green one.
Passat. It's not. Oh, a newer one. Oh, really?
I had a 1.8 turbo. That thing was quick, dude.
Yeah. Well, Volkswagen's, you know, the Scirocco. My friend Jeff owned a Scirocco back in the day, and that thing, he literally would do jumps in it. Like, I mean, we would get.
What year did you pull up for that one?
Most of the ones when you didn't give me a date, I went with a 5. You know, like 85, 95. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That way, like, it was kind of in the middle.
That one was. I'll see if I can find one.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Volkswagen Passat, you know, like, and you know, Volkswagen makes good cars. I mean, I love the GTI. I've always loved that car. The Scirocco is really nice. I'm glad that they actually put it back into production. It was, which kind of, it looks nothing like the original Scirocco. The original Volkswagen Scirocco is like a time machine, man. It was like a, you know, Back to the Future car, you know, like, and it was just awesome. But the driver, my friend Jeff at the time, was we didn't care. Like, at that time, we were like 17, 18, and we were doing jumps off this one little bridge out in Regelsville, Pennsylvania. Jumps. Like, he would be going 50, 60, and we would have to do that speed in order for him to land it correctly. Because, I mean, but it would take no damage. It was really weird. The jump was not like a big, huge jump, but the way that the speed we were going really made us go, you know, propelled us forward quite a bit. And as a young teenager boy, that was quite invigorating, especially right after one of Amy Ruthroff's freaking underage alcohol parties. Yeah, we used to love it. And we did it. That was the first time that we ran into crazy sexual encounters. Like, I'm not going to talk about it here. We'll get in trouble probably. But I can tell you about another great car Larry owned, and look at this gem. Now, Larry doesn't even remember owning this, but I'm going to jog his memory. Remember this old peach in the orchard, Larry? How about that? Ah, now I don't think Larry owned the Targa Top. Am I correct?
I didn't. No, that's not what I had.
Yeah, there's another failure on my part, folks. Actually, no,
I
because
wish I would have had
it.
That's a G body. I love them.
Yeah, but you did own one of these, just
I
not
owned
this particular.
73.
The 73. Yeah, I think this is his 80 and 80. I can't remember. But these were, I remember seeing these on the street, Larry, when I was a teen, and these were like, I don't think even seen the Targa Top. But I have seen, now, did they make a convertible with this model? If you can remember. Because I sure as hell don't. But I do see.
No, they made a Euro.
I mean, it's got a Targa right there, so I would assume that they were like,
you know what the Euro coupes are?
No.
Oh, look one up. whatever year that is, Monte Carlo or Euro Coupe.
Oh, a Euro version. Oh.
It had a big back window that went down halfway into the trunk with these glass sides.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's for
if
sale
you could
right
find
now.
one of them, dude,
Yeah.
snatch it.
Thank you, Layla. That's right. Dang it, I forget what G told me he had. I would have pulled up G's card. Memoriam. Oh, whoa. I don't want that picture. Don't worry, folks. It was just an old IROC Z, which I bet you Larry would have liked to drive. What's your thoughts, hey, Larry, on an IROC Z?
That was the
What is
Monte
that?
Carlo I owned.
Ah, Monte Carlo. Yeah, I have that here.
Blue, I think.
Yeah.
But it was cool, dude. It had bucket seats in the center console, and the bucket seats swiveled. So when they swiveled out like you're sitting
like
in
an
the car
Elvis
like
camper
this,
van.
and it would swivel out so you could just step out of it. Right?
That's sick.
It was cool.
Well, they have that now. That's
of
starting to come
course,
back.
after the Camaro, I took those wheels off.
Yeah.
Well, they ended up on that, and headers, 3-inch exhaust, air shocks, of course, and I did chew up my back wheel wells with those rims.
Oh God, Layla.
They went everywhere with that. Fucking tires went everywhere with me. I was just looking to buy something to put them on. Because I loved having fat back tires and skinny front tires.
I'll never lived down that date that I missed with Erin. I won't say her last name. Not that it matters. She would vouch for me.
But yeah, I had one of those. Those had a long hood.
Yeah.
The fan shroud was about yay long.
Well, one thing that wasn't long was the career of my next vehicle that I owned with one of my significant others. Now, this car I bought for $4,000.
Oh, the Monte Carlo, I developed a rod knock. That's it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No. Good. No, I'm glad you said that. No, yeah, we're trying to remember how each car met its demise here. What happened?
Shannon says, I just mentally super chatted 25. Get you some nice furry dice to hang in the car, Larry. No, I didn't check the oil and just drove it to work every day and fucking didn't realize I had an oil leak, so it was too late. And it got a rod knock, and I put 50 weight in it, which quieted it down for a while.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah, it's not going to save it though.
Band-aid, you know.
Yeah, I've always John, my boss and friend that I from up north there, that was going to sell me the Mustang for $5,000. Oh, sorry, which I really wish I could have had. He always said, "Listen, there's one thing that you need to do. If there's one thing you need to do, folks." And I'm saying this, and Larry doesn't know I'm saying it, but Larry will agree. There's one thing you need to take care of your car. It's your oil. If your oil light goes on, your car's already fucked.
Hi, Nova.
That's it. Hi, Nova. Like, unless you got some, maybe Larry can differ from that, but if your oil light goes on, at least depending on, I guess, the newer cars, I don't know all the computer, electronics. My car's got all the bells and whistles. It's like a computer with wheels. So it's like, whatever. I mean, I've had my hiccups too with it, but yeah, I mean, with your oil light, just change your oil, folks. Unless you drive a Saab. If you drive a Saab, you don't ever need to change oil in the thing. You just drive it. Just where if the mechanic happens to do it, you're fine for another.
So what is that?
This is my next car, which I picked up for $4,000. This is the Mazda Tribute. Now I love this car. This car was very cozy. It was right in my price range. I'd saved for around a couple years, and then I topped it off with my tax return. I think probably in 2017. This is skipping forward a little bit in between a few. I don't remember, but This one ultimately went because of a solenoid, Larry. I couldn't keep it. It would not start. Now, the thing with this car is the girl I was with at the time. We worked at the same place, right? Seems convenient. Well, not when you work night shift and she works day shift. So basically, I would drive in at 10 o'clock at night. This was my day for 4 years. Well, 3 years. The car lasted 3 years. Like, no, 2 years. 2 years. It lasted around 2 years with plenty of fixing. Anyway, I would drive her. I would go to work at 10 o'clock at night, come home at 7. Then, after a half an hour, I would drive her back to the exact same spot that I just came from half an hour ago to drop her off because I would have to get our running around and do our chores, right? Run out, get groceries, do things. Need and not all the time. Sometimes she would take it, but most of the time I would have to do that. And so we pretty much did, long story short, we put probably, think the first year we put 21,000 miles on the car. And then we decided to drive to Maine and made it home from Maine. And then we had this relentless solenoid problem where they kept replacing it and it kept failing, and then it was just so incessant we had to move on. But that's what happened to but a Mazda Tribute, you find one with under 100,000, and no real issues. It's good. Mazdas aren't bad vehicles. I love the new Miatas. The new Miatas are sick. We got a lot of them out here in St. Augustine. So that's what happened with that car. But I loved it. It was great for traveling, very comfortable. And let me see what else I got here on the old flyer. I got another Larry car in here. Whoa, we're coming down to the end of the list, folks. Because we can't remember every single car right off the bat. I mean, Larry remembered a few. I remember some. We're gonna have a part 2, an episode 2 of the car remembrance stream. We're gonna get Stitches up for that one, and he'll be the spotlight for that. And I'm gonna Stitches will probably send me pictures and dates, or he can even bring them up himself, and we can go from there. So now, like you were talking about vans earlier, Larry. Now, how many vans total do you think you own? Would you say maybe 3, 4,
5.
5? Okay, okay.
I had a Dodge van that was painted like the A-Team.
Ah,
It was just the paint scheme on it. I used it for doing roofing.
Yeah.
So it just had 2 seats in it.
I got to catch up to Larry. All next up on the chopping block is my 1990, I believe, 9. Whoops. That's not it. Whoops. That's not it. Hold on, let me get back. I unshared it. I don't care. I don't got nothing weird in here. Where the hell? Oh, I got to go to the new folder. Okay, hold on. There we go. And where was that? We'll just use this one. This is actually a better representation here. Yeah, this one.
Super Snake. It just says I'm thinking about getting another Mustang. I just looked at it. Super. Nice.
A Super Snake. Oh. I have to look that up. That sounds familiar to me. I want a dark horse just to have a dark horse because it's loud as hell. But that's a Cadillac Catera there, folks. You see that, Larry? Can you see that? You can't see it?
Not sharing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just had some technical difficulties here. After that car, I ended up with this. It's a cat. God dang it. I keep freaking doing the wrong one. Look at this. See, I can't find the right tab. I got tabs all over here, Larry. Hold on. God dang it. Where is that picture? Oh, there it is. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Let me get now. Go. Now after the Mazda fiasco, I hooked up with somebody that my father who sold me this car. And this was this was Cadillac's kind of sport And I'll tell you a little bit about it, Larry. Not a lot of people know a lot about the Cadillac Catera, but I know a little bit. This was a V6. It had a hell of a lot of power. This was probably the most, besides the 91 Super Turbo, this was probably the second most powerful car I owned. The Cadillac Catera was basically a car that was an experiment for Cadillac. You know, everyone kind of looked at Cadillac as, oh, well, that's a grandparent car. Not saying it's not nice. It's more like it's a luxury sedan. You kind of you don't see anyone under the age of 55 driving it. Well, my father was over 55, so that he picked it up. So that's why he was driving it. And then that's about the time he left it in Pennsylvania, and I was taking care of the estate in Pennsylvania, the property in Pennsylvania estate. Yeah, like it was like sometime it wasn't. Um, we had some acreage, but not like that. Yeah, and so he left it there, and I ended up using it, and I had problems. My Tribute had problems, so he's like, "Oh, no problem, just use that." It's got some issues with it, and it had an oil leak, an everlasting oil leak. We couldn't figure it out. We've taken it to like 10 guys, no, 3 realistically, but super powerful V6. Really nice interior, leather interior, had a few extra bells and whistles that weren't on really any other Cadillacs at the time. But, or even more accurately, they brought some luxury features from the Cadillac line over to the Catera, which made it this standard, gave it the ability to be called a Cadillac, but it was a sport model. And it was, I think, if I'm not, maybe one of their only, if not the only sport model Cadillac. It was a massive failure. Probably because ours failed, and, you know, it's not like my father paid a lot for it, but he paid some money for it, and it just didn't work out. But the Cadillac Catera, folks, nice, sleek looking car, but in the end, it took a tank because it just couldn't hack the old oil cabbage there, Larry. So what can you do, you know? Um, and that led me to my next car. The Jesus Chrysler. Now, I got this from a buddy who got it from somebody. And this thing, now you want to talk about reliable? Okay, sure. It had some reliability. But moreover, you want to talk about bad luck? This car was the bane of my existence. This was the one car that bankrupted me multiple times. And the one car that I think a lot of people c- can say they have won during their lifespan. This one car that just cannot, if you're not motorly inclined, like I wasn't a mechanic, I didn't know how to fix it. So, but a lot of times with this car, it was unfortunate circumstances. I've hit an owl in this car. I've been hit by a wheelbarrow in this car, just driving down the road. I was driving down 611 near Warings, and out of nowhere, a wheelbarrow just ended up in the middle of the road.
Near where?
Warings on 611.
Mm.
Well, that's in Pennsylvania. It's in Ottsville. Okay. Ottsville. That's my old stomping ground. Ottsville, Pennsylvania. And shout out to St. John's elementary school, because that was one of my elementary school. I moved around a lot, Larry. That was when I started my Catholic career. But anyway, going back to the Chrysler Cirrus, this thing, we dubbed this the Jesus Chrysler because Jesus Christ, no matter what you threw at it, the thing would still run. And it's halfway true as long as you had, if 350. Everything in this car cost $300 to $400. It was just like, it was never more than that. Didn't matter what it was. The engine has caught on fire before. It was my fault. I left the dang cap open under the hood, and then it caught on fire, pulled over. That was the only driver error, though, Larry. Okay, the rest of this was, I have been hit like by 40 deer, 40. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like Pennsylvania, you know about deer up there, so this car just attracted deer. I've had deer just nick it. Most of them were just nicks, but there was quite a few. Now you guys were talking about brakes earlier, teeter and everything. To believe brakes. What I'm driving, we didn't need any brakes. It's called you throw it in the park when you need to stop and slam on the brakes what was left of them. I didn't have any pads. It was steel on steel. I didn't have the money. It was loud, but the emergency brake, sometimes you'd have to throw it into reverse. Uh, and it would make a horrible sound.
I'm just reading what Stitches put. He goes, or not like the super snakes you were used to down at the glory hole.
Shut up, Mike. What do you know? Oh my God. But yeah, Jesus Christ, so this thing, 1998. And I'm telling you what, if it weren't for the
The
bad luck in
Jesus
this car,
Chrysler.
yeah, because no matter what you threw at it, it's Jesus Christ. This thing keeps running. And it did. And I can't even tell you. I mean, I remember we had a tornado in the area, and just from the wind gusts around the area, like it blew down a branch, bam, right on top of the wind. And actually, it was in the back quarter section, and it blew the whole rear back windshield out. I drove to work like that because Tim, I won't say his last name because he was my boss from my old job. Tim made me drive in, and he didn't believe that we had a hurricane. Well, I drove in. I told him I can't drive in. I got a smashed windshield. I left the sticks and everything, Larry, the branches in there and the leaves, and drove the hell in there. Oh my God, I remember Meredith was freaking out. She's my ex-girlfriend up there. She's like, oh my God. She was watching me get in the car, saw the lightning ball hit the tree limb and literally fall right on me. And she thought I was dead. But I wasn't dead because guess what? It was the Jesus Christ there. This thing keeps running. This car, if it weren't for bad luck, it would still be on the road today. But actually, no, it wouldn't be because we at the time after that part we kind of trashed it like on purpose because I was so tired of putting like thousands of dollars. What is that? Oh,
That
that's
is
a
a
Chevy.
Chevy Aveo.
Oh, okay.
It's you could fit 4 really big dudes in it, but it was like a clown car when you were.
But you had like all the room in the world. You thought you were at an F-150.
Yeah, but dude, the tires were like fucking 13-inch for the tires. It
what?
was
They were
bad.
like 4 spare
Dude,
tires
I used to
rolling
plow
down the
snow
road.
when I would pull out of here driving up, and it was like a foot of snow on the ground. Yeah, I was plowing fucking snow with my front end. It was little. It barely got out of its way.
Oh my God.
I got it. It was a flood car. And it ran pretty good. I mean, I couldn't say barely get out of its way. It ran, but it got 18 miles to the gallon. It was supposed to get like 27 and 30 or some shit, right?
Yeah.
It didn't. And
27 and 30. If you're going to make 27.
No, that's what the specs are for it.
Yeah, I know, but that's
it up, that's
3
what it was
miles.
supposed to make. They made 18.
You got to boast that? Like, just make that the standard, Why 3? Give us the 3 for free. What the hell?
Yeah, that was the city and the highway.
It's like Seinfeld said, it's like
average
the people
of
that
what, 29, 8 miles to the gallon average, I guess.
The extra strength aspect.
But yeah, mine got 18.
They don't want regular. You gotta get the extra
my Jeep
strength.
got the same gas mileages.
Wow.
Okay. And I said, well, it was 60,000 miles. I was like, I better, do the timing belt. So I bought a timing belt, new pulleys, because I heard these pulleys could just blow apart. Made of plastic.
Ooh, cat.
And
cat appearance.
I got it, and I went to do the job, and it had a motor mount right away. It's the first thing I had to take off. I couldn't get the bolts out. I don't know if it's because it was submerged or because it was a flood car.
Yeah.
But I broke breaker bars.
Probably.
I broke all my ratchets. I broke sockets. I didn't have an impact gun then. Not, my compressor. It's just I didn't have the means. Something was wrong with my air gun.
Yeah.
I didn't have an electric gun. But anyway, I couldn't do it, and I was getting ready to buy more breaker bars, and then I had to go to a funeral, so I took it to the funeral. And I was coming back, and the fucking timing belt blew. It was the fucking wheel, the plastic. And I bought a kit with a new belt and metal wheels and stuff. It just, yeah. So I gave it to my friend, sold it to him, had it towed to his house. I was gonna fix it, take it all apart, and he's like, "You want to sell it? I'll buy it." Like, all right. I just goodbye. That's the one that the bear dented the fucking roof and the hood and cracked the windshield. It had a little spot on it, but it turned into a big crack because a bear climbed up it to get onto jump the fence to get in the yard. And it had claw marks on the back little quarter panel, like right over here. There was 4 big claw marks.
Wow. What a badge. How'd you get rid of that? I would have kept it in the yard as a token. My braverosity.
Because it broke down 100 miles away from home when I was down home. So I just had it towed to my buddies that I play guitar with, his house. So I was like, yeah, leave it here. I'm going to go home and get some tools and check it out. And I never ended up doing it. But yeah, so that was that car. See how quick my stories are?
Yeah. Well, hey, for me, my stories are pretty quick. Here, you are fine. Here's a quick one. Chrysler Cirrus, right? The Jesus Chrysler. Well,
you told us the whole story of the Jesus Chrysler.
I know. I'm leading. Larry, I know what I'm doing. Now, that car has cost me so much money. I've never had to put more money in a car. I had more problems with it. But you know what car I didn't have any problems with? You see how this is going, Larry? You see how that rolled into it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Nice segue.
Thank you. Is what the car that got me here to Florida right now. And that is the Hyundai Veloster. Now, I can say this about a Hyundai. I love the look of this little quirky looking car. It's almost like a Juke-ish type, but I don't like the new bodies on the Hyundai. It's discontinued. They don't make them anymore, I don't think. But the body I had, this one over here, it was hot. All right. Now, after I was probably at the time, I don't even know how old I was, but
hey Lena, hey
40. I'm 40 at this time. And I picked this car for a decent price. Actually, you know what? A guy, he was younger than I was, a guy I knew for years from high school that I never hung out with. He ended up moving onto my road, and then we hung out a bunch on there. And his dad used to be real mean to him. He did not abuse or anything, but like he would scream at him, so he would run out of the house, try to get away. Well, I was out in the middle. I was at the point where I'm in my 30s, and I was out in the wood, high 20. I was taking care of. I was still at the house, taking care of the estate, to the property, before I moved to the horse farm. Right, I took this car from the property to the horse farm. You know what I'm saying? So that'll catch you up on the year, which is something like I'm like 40. And this car, I'm going to tell you this, a Hyundai, and we'll bring Larry owned a couple of launches. We'll talk about those in the next episode of the the gears over the years. But this car was great. Never had one problem starting. Never had one issue. The only problem with it is got low profile tires. They're like 819s or something. So you will be getting, depending on your state, if you live in Pennsylvania, the roads, unless they've changed in 5 years, they're still shit. And your Veloster will definitely need a couple new tires over its lifespan at least. But I like the smallness of it. It was a hatchback. The only 3-door on the market. You can see the driver's side there, but on the other side, they had the little mini door where you can get cargo and stuff. That's how I got a lot of my gear actually in it, for being a hatchback down here to Florida. But it made me, I had this car for 7 years. And this car was important to me. It got me where I'm at right now today. And not one problem. It was the first car in my entire life of 30 years of driving that did not break down on me. I never had to call the tow truck except for a flat tire and stuff. That was it. and it's a good Hyundai makes some good cars up to 100,000 miles. And once you hit 100,000 in the Hyundai, everything's gonna fall apart. That's what happened to me. I traded it in for what I drive today, and I got 3 grand for it. 2014 is what it was. And now we're at this point of the show where we're reaching the end of the climax of what we're driving today. And Larry, you're up after this car.
This I
Oh, is that
got
a
this when
Plymouth?
I was wrenching, right? And it was a boat.
Oh,
It
it
was
is
a
a Plymouth.
Fury 3.
I like
What
it.
I found out from driving this car
That's a
is that
Ford
the
Cleaver car.
interior is identical to a Dodge Charger. Like the
Whoa,
good
really?
Dodge Chargers. Yeah. Because when
Can you bring up
I
a
drove it to
comparison,
work every
Larry?
day and then I had to inspect a Charger and I was like, oh, cool. And I got in it and I'm like, this is a fucking Fury. Right? Like everything was identical
Ooh,
on the inside.
a Chevy
Except,
Corsica Moonwolf.
and I
Okay,
think the
yeah,
one
I
I
remember the
inspected had a
Corsica.
bench seat. So
That's nice, Larry.
no,
That
it was hitting the front and hitting the back, so it was actually shortened by about 3 inches altogether.
well,
Right.
that's the compact version. You normally pay more for
First
those
time I
things out
ever
here now.
trumped on it. I used to just cruise it. Oh, it was like a
Sure.
boat over the fucking bumps and shit, right? Just
Of course, yeah.
cruise. First time I jumped on it, somebody pissed me off at an intersection, so I fucking nailed it. And it lit the fucking tires up and broke both motor mounts, and the motor just, it was sitting in there like this. The motor went boom, like
Oh,
that.
wow.
I popped the hood. I heard the fan, right? So I fucking popped the hood, and I had a valve cover pointing straight up. I was like,
So
oh,
the engine
fuck.
basically fished on you and flipped on its
Yeah,
side.
dude.
Wow.
I limped it
I never
home,
heard of that. Well,
right?
I have, but not.
I did. I drove it home. I limped it home. And I
What?
had to get out there with a 2x4. And I jacked the motor back into place. And what did I do? I think I chained it down. I put a chain on, I had some chain. I put a piece of chain on either side just to hold the motor in place. And I drove it to work and swapped the motor.
Yeah. Wow.
That was fucked up,
That's
though.
crazy. Lena says, Lena's first car was a Pontiac Ventura. I remember the Ventura. I don't remember what it looks like. The big bird yellow. Oh, a V8. Holy shit, Larry, bring that Ventura up. The Ventura was. I remember it. I remember it, but I don't remember what it looks like. Frank, did you ever answer our
It's
question
like
of
the
why
old
you wear
Omega.
diapers? How much do you get paid for wearing diapers, Frank?
It's
I need
like
to.
the
We
old
could.
Omega 4.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
Pontiac's version of a Nova.
Oh, all right.
I
Well, I
think
like
I
Pontiacs.
like it better than the wait, what did she say? Venture?
A
Yeah, I
Ventura,
liked
a
it better
Ventura
Ventura. I
V8.
liked it, but what year? If
Yeah,
I'm
what year,
am I
Lena?
right? What was the fucking Pontiac version?
I don't know, but I like Plymouths and I like Pontiacs. I don't know what the hell happened. Well, what they got bought out, but I mean, and tanked out. But well, I mean, Plymouth rolled into what, Chevy for a while. They don't make Plymouths anymore. Larry, they need to
Plymouth
make more
was Dodge,
Plymouths.
dude. Dodge
Oh,
Chrysler.
Dodge. That's right. Plymouth was Dodge. Dodge, Plymouth, Dodge. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm so out of the loop, folks. I only care about Supras.
I
Let's just
had
go
one of
home.
these. This is
And
one I
and
forgot
SS
about.
Novas. I love a Chevelle. Huh?
This is one I forgot about.
Ooh,
Dude, I
look
got
at
it. I
that.
bought it off a mechanic, man.
Whoa.
For
I like that. Lower that shit, man. You're
$500, right?
talking
This was
Puerto
in the
Rican heaven.
90s.
I
In the
want a
night, will
fucking
you listen? In the 90s, okay? I got it
okay.
for $500 off a mechanic. It
Yeah,
was not this color, it was more of that rust color.
yeah.
And it ran, dude. And
That's just sick, bro.
I pulled the 400 out of it. That's 400 I got in my garage. But it had a back window, that went down. I always thought that was
Did that have it was the automatic one, right? The
yeah.
window that went down? Yeah, dude, I could picture that. And then it had the hatchwork swang out. It didn't go up or anything. It was swang.
Swung.
I think
Swang.
it folded
I
down.
like that word, swang.
Like a
That's my new word.
truck bed. I don't
Word
remember.
of the day on Grinding Gears is swang.
I think it folded down. It could have swung out. Honestly, I don't remember. But
it's definitely got swang.
It was too big for Lori. He's like, no.
Right.
But it was mint, dude, inside and out.
You lower that fucker. You put a full freaking
no, I yanked the motor and jumped it.
3-section rear view mirror on that motherfucker and put
I should have kept it. I could have hot
rosaries on the fucking.
Yeah.
You are. But make sure you gotta get on pace. Back in the days, Puerto
Dude,
Ricans
I was still
pace. It was all trouble,
apartment
bitch.
living. I couldn't like keep cars around. When I was
me
done
neither.
with one,
What the hell? I was driving a freaking Citation, Larry. What do you want?
I yanked the motor and sent it to a machine shop. And I got my house shortly.
Well,
so I did yank the motor and keep the motor. I was like, it's a 400. It was a low mileage. So I took it to the machine shop and had it all worked up. And
Karen.
We'll sit. I didn't have it worked up. It was 2-bolt main. I had it poured and honed. It was poured 20 over, I believe. Honed with deck plates. He checked the line hone and it was fine.
Yeah.
I've had ARP rod bolts put in the rods. And new Keith Black hyperdetic piston dished.
Yeah.
I was going to put a supercharger on it. It was for my truck. And I never, like a small B&M. Not a big one, just a fucking small one. No. I don't know what they're 671s maybe. I don't know his blower size.
I thought they were the 713s.
I wanted a small little supercharger.
Okay, you did.
Even if I went with a turbo or a pro charger, they were perfect pistons. I could have still ramped up. But I'm not doing a bunny because we're doing a freaking car show. Okay.
Hey, even bunnies can like cars, Larry. Get down with the program. No, I don't know if Frank answered Nova. I tried to ask him. He wouldn't answer me. What's he doing? Frank, answer the question. I'm telling you right now. All right. Did that for Karen. I still have that on. Oh. Yeah. No. Yeah. What the hell? Well, Larry, we're at the last segment. We gotta figure what. Let's talk about what we're driving now, and I won't go long. I'll go shorter than you will, but I want to do an in-depth review on these cars, folks, and let us know down in the comments or right now if you'd like to. You know what? Forget it. You're gonna get it anyway. You can go screw yourselves. So, Larry's gonna bring up his current car and talk a little bit about it. Then I'll bring up mine, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here.
Oh my! I sent you the picture. Aren't you gonna?
No, I can't figure it out.
All right.
I tried to save it. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna screen.
You gotta not save it as a large, dude, or small.
Well,
you have to take that off. When you save a picture from Twitter, it comes with.
Listen, we live large out here, Larry.
JPEG _ small or JPEG _ large. You have to remove the large and the underscore, or the small and the underscore, and then hit enter. And like when you go to rename that file.
Yeah, I'll rename you.
You rename it before you save, and it'll say you're changing the extension. Would you like to save this? And you go yes, and then the picture will pop up. That's when any picture you try to grab from Twitter.
By the way, folks,
for you.
Well,
but I'll show it.
Yeah, you know what, Larry? You go show that. In the meantime, until you show it, I'll show everyone your favorite car. All right, so Larry will take over when he wants. This is Larry's creme de menthe here, folks. That's right. 1978 Ford Fiesta. For Christ's sake, Larry. I didn't know they started making them back that early. I figured that was like an 87 type.
Next, we already talked about this.
And
All right, we'll spare him. I can't complain because although it was the luck version of it, that Jesus Chrysler cost me literally probably around $4,000 to $5,000 in like 3 years, 2 years. It was really bad, and it was the only option I had. I was looking everywhere, and I was in this living paycheck, but by to paycheck, shit. So there's nothing I could do about it. Like at that point. The Mazda was a heartbreaker because I paid 4 grand for it, and I was proud of that. That was like my biggest purchase at that time, like I think the Mazda, I don't remember. I think it was in my 30s or something. It was when I was 30, around 28 to 30. That's when I picked that up, and that's why I can't remember every car. There's a couple few in between all these. We're gonna again, we're gonna have an episode 2. Ah, flame red Jeep Grand Cherokee. You know what's funny, Larry? I just had that. I have a white one here that I was gonna share. Is this the more like what you own, the
This
color
is
and all that?
sitting
Is
out
that the
there now
Loretto?
waiting for a battery.
How much is that going for? How's the mileage on there? That's a Loretto, folks. That's not the Eddie Bauer version, though. Larry, let me ask you this. This is a good trivia
I
question
don't
for
know what
Larry.
they're going for.
What's the difference between the Eddie Bauer version?
I don't know.
Oh, what the hell kind of mechanic are you?
Leather?
A leather
don't know.
mechanic. Well, you know what? That's
No,
pretty rare
leather
nowadays.
with leather
Eh,
seats, maybe
Oh,
wood grain,
yeah.
instead of black
I don't
plastics
know.
or gray plastics.
Plastics. Look at
But
this
this
guy.
is a nice
Larry,
version of what I have. Mine is not that nice.
by the way, nice. What
And
are you
mine is
talking
not a
about?
V8.
Are
It's
you
a straight
noticing
6.
something here, Larry? Look at that smoke coming out the tailpipe. It's white. It's got a blown head gasket. Forget it. Pass. Look at it. It's still smoking. How many miles is on that thing?
97,000.
Yeah, that shouldn't be smoking like that, Larry. Even on a cold day in Michigan, it shouldn't be having that type of. Oh, I'm doing the bunny voice. Sorry, I can't do that unless Karen's here and
But
I have.
I don't have that same steering wheel.
Well, that's because this is the piece of shit version. Yeah, yeah. It's not the Eddie Bauer. Larry had the
this
Eddie
is
Bauer,
actually a
didn't even know
nicer
it.
one.
Oh,
This has shit on the steering wheel. It's been so long since I drove that thing. I don't remember what the wheel looks like, to be honest with
here,
you.
bring up back that picture with the steering wheel straight on. Give you
I
back
can't.
a
It's
few.
just going in one direction.
Okay,
Like that.
I'm going to tell you now, folks. When you take your car to be detailed and it comes back like not shiny like this, they're doing their job. A lot of people have the misconception that it should be shiny and like really
No,
shiny. No, it should be
satin on the
matte.
inside.
It should be matte colored.
Yep.
It comes out of factory with different types of literally fresh oils and different things that are and everything like that. You
Yeah, you
want it
can buy the high
matte.
sheen. You can buy the low sheen when you're getting the detail spray. Auto parts store.
Buy low sheen. That's funny. Larry just thinking on my tomes here now, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Oh, that looks like look at, oh man, that stick shift. Everyone's driven a car that has that. Wow. Look at all those gears. Look at that, trying to get sophisticated. This looks like a 1992. Oh, it's a 97.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the 90s were a very big jump forward into technology and vehicles.
Oh, and I finally got a trailer hitch on it. Right. Only because it was a recall from Jeep.
No, Frank, how much did you get paid? We want to know numbers here. Like, come on, how much did you take him for, Frank? That's a better way to say it, right, Larry? That's like, I'm going to tell you a story about this freaking, this car right here, this Grand Cherokee. I don't care what year it is. Here, I'll bring it up. I got another one. Because I remember you told me you had one. I'm going to tell you a story about this thing. Larry, do you remember the winter of whatever the hell it was? God dang it.
You know the problem with these four?
This is ridiculous.
These Grand Cherokee. No, that's a Grand
Here,
Cherokee.
look at my thumbnail for my Southwest Ranch Simulator. If you haven't seen it, check out the series, folks. This is our nice plug. All right, I'm sorry.
No, you had the car showing.
Oh, whoops. Oh, I still have it showing. All right.
No, you
So,
don't. You stop presenting.
oh, well, that right there, folks, was that. Okay, we had an ice storm on October 31st. Larry, you will remember. No, I don't think he does. He wasn't living in Pennsylvania then, because this was back in 2012. It was 2012. And if anybody remembers the great ice storm of Halloween night in Pennsylvania, it dumped probably 5 to 6 inches of ice, straight ass ice. Like it was ice, 5 inches of it. So you went out and imagine 5 inches of ice on top of what you're normally used to. That's what it was. State of emergency. Everybody was fucked. And I tore my rotary cuff too, trying to shake the ice off the trees down the driveway because we had that swooping driveway.
I'm pretty sure I was back in Pennsylvania.
Well, see, I was at my parents' house after they moved to Florida permanently, taking care of it. Then we left it vacant for a few years. That's when I moved into Plumsteadville, Pennsylvania, which is near Doylestown. Some people will even recognize that name. I'm sure Larry knows that name, Doylestown. That's where I was living at the time, but nobody was at the house. Then when my parents couldn't figure out what to do with the house. Then they were like, well, whatever. It's kind of, we need someone there. So I went back, I took care of it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And so I was kind of out of there for 5, 6 years. Then I came back to the old house that I grew up in, took care of that. Then I went to the horse farm. Then I came here. That's the time of events on that. But now, Larry, all right, Larry, let's wrap it up here, because I got to get to bed soon for work. So Larry's driving currently. I'll let him explain, and then I'll explain mine. Matter of fact, I'll do mine first. No, do Larry's first. Mine will be longer, but I'm not gonna take a shit ton of your time. You all know what I drive, and you would, dude. I want to drive that. Now, I want to know a little bit about this, Larry. I know you told me, but this
2023 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro.
That shit is a perfect
V6. I think it's a 4-liter.
Oh, that's Larry's dream color.
5-speed tranny. TRD off-road package. It's got the Fox shocks suspension. It's got like a 1-inch lift.
What does that mean? What does that mean? The Fox shock. What does that do?
They're like a really good off-road shock. Really soft. Like when I hit the brakes, the nose will dive. I can go over railroad tracks.
Yeah, see, this is what these packages are for, folks. The TRD Pro, I'll bet you don't get that. You don't get those shocks. That's part of that's kind of how Toyota rolls.
This is exactly how I didn't order anything on it. Like,
right, it comes with.
I kind of like the luggage rack, even though I'll never use it. Me and Lori, I have a hard time just putting anything on it.
Yeah, but I like that.
And I'd rather have a full roof rack, so I could put like
to the front of the A-frame
or lumber. I could strap it up. Yeah, full roof. I'd
full
rather
A-frame
the full. But it came with that.
Yeah,
it came with these Predator steps, which suck.
Really?
Yes, because that little step the footprint is so damn small that I tried a anniversary model that had this just regular like rock sliders. It was fine, dude. It was a nice step. You could use it as a step to get. These things suck. And imagine if you're off-roading and you got low ground clearance, like going over a rock or something, you'll rip them fucking things right off of there.
Karen says, fuck them steps. I had to slide my ass out.
Yes. Ask Karen. She was in it.
Yeah.
So, and that back there is my 69 Chevy short bed step side. Been lowered. And it is running now.
Punky's making lunch, Larry. Let's keep going. We got to make a separate.
That's it. That's what I'm driving now, that and the Jeep.
I love it, man. I'm going to tell you this.
This is all concreted now. It's a nice big parking area. Everything's concrete except the Jeep. I haven't put it up there yet. It's sitting right outside the gate, so I can
Oh man. Yeah, I've never been in one. I don't think.
Oh, they're fucking.
I never been in one, and it's
You'll
like
like it.
I love it. There's so
You
many
come
around
up, I'll
St.
take you for a
Augustine.
ride, or I'll let you drive it. I don't care. I let Bob
Yeah.
drive it. I said to
Yeah.
Bob, I said, you know, I gave him my keys because he was going up to grab his car to come get us at the other end of the farmer's market because we had a lot of shit to load up.
Yeah.
And I handed him my keys because was having a hard time starting his car. I said, "There's a jump pack in there." He goes, "Okay."
Mm.
So instead of using a jump pack, I mean, his car started right away, and he had Phil drive it down, but he drove my truck down. And he goes, "Dude, you gave me the keys. You think I'm going to pass up a chance to drive this?" I was
Of
like, "No,
course he's
whatever,
not.
man. I don't care." I said, "You didn't hit. He's blind." I said, "You didn't hit nothing, did you?" He goes, "Fuck no." All
Of
right.
course not.
He goes, "You got a really nice rear view camera." I'm like, "It's not all that great, but okay." No, it works. You know,
Dude,
I've
I
seen
love it.
better. I've seen clearer. You know,
Yeah, but the color is nice. Now, would you have preferred like a black stripe down the middle, or do you like it just solid orange?
I picked that color.
Yeah.
That's why the only color that only came on TRDs. And the only one he had coming in orange was a TRD Pro 1 year only color.
So you figured, what the hell? We got to spend an extra $4,000. What do we got? You know, I mean, hey, shit.
No,
That's
I
what I
could have.
did.
No, I could have got a TRD Pro in black,
Yeah, but it's
but
not what you wanted.
I was like, I was going to buy the anniversary model. I went there to sign the paperwork on it, right? Because it was good enough. It had the heated seats Lori wanted. It, you know, it checked all the boxes. It had bronze wheels instead of black. Same wheels. It was 40th anniversary. It had these stupid stripes down the side, which I didn't dig, but it was a burgundy vehicle with a gray interior. I was like, I could remove those stripes, and then
Yeah.
it would have been perfect, right? But I also like the hood scoop, even though it's non-functional.
Yeah. Well, don't
So
get me
we're
started,
sitting
Larry.
there, and we're filling out the paperwork for the 40th anniversary one. And I said, "Hey, man, you don't have any orange TRD Pros coming in, do you?" And he goes, "I have 2 of them coming." Matter of
You
fact,
probably
I
shit your
said, "Have they been
pants.
claimed yet?" He goes, "No." I said, "Scratch this. I want that." He's like, "For real?" I was like, "Yeah."
How much more was it?
6, 8 grand, something like that.
6 or 6? Yeah. Yeah,
Was it
that's the
worth it?
difference. Yeah.
I don't know, but
Really? No, no,
that's the
no. Think
top of the
about it.
line.
Right? No, no. Cut and dry. Don't think about it. But think about it. Was it worth it to you right now? Are you happy with your
Okay,
purchase?
so for that 8 grand, you could have put way better shocks and suspension on it. You know what I mean? You would have had to do the upgrade. But that's what everyone says. Get a TRD off road and do all the pro upgrades yourself. Cheaper or different wheels, bigger tires, you know,
Right.
than your stock. You could do it with an SR5,
Yeah, the
stock
wheels that
SR5.
yeah. The wheels on a 4Runner that you can hear like half a mile away
No,
coming
you don't hear them.
zzz. Oh.
My next set you're going to hear. They're not aggressive enough.
But the ones you have now?
Yeah, the ones you're looking at, they're not
Yeah.
aggressive. I
How much you
want
pay for a set
beefier.
there? 15? 2 grand.
I don't know. I haven't had to buy them yet.
Yeah,
The
well,
thing only
don't
has
yeah,
8,000 miles on it.
yeah, I don't have that.
I don't need it.
I
Doesn't need
did.
anything. I have upgrades for it, like the little Toyota on the front,
Yeah.
right here where it says it's silver.
Yeah, it should be
It says
orange. It
Toyota.
should be orange.
I have those little
I know
stick-on
you do.
covers. I got to put them on. I got to put the little
Yeah.
deer things on them and stick them
You
right here.
you absolutely need to do that.
The
That
deer
shit's like,
whistles.
you know.
I have door handles for the inside because they're chrome. It's the only thing chrome inside.
You
So
know,
I
and
got
that's
these black plastic covers that just slip on and clip on.
I would like that with black handles on the
And
outside,
I
Larry.
got a blackout cover for the steering wheel hookup. So there won't be any chrome on
Right. Yeah.
That's because they're the only things. It's the handles and the badge on the thing. Now the shifter knob is silver. They're good, but I'm not spending that kind of. It's not that. That one's
Well,
pretty nice. It might be leather. I don't remember, but there are some like the center console thing. The material around it is all carbon fiber. Pretty cool.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just a step up. You know what I mean?
Well, Larry and I want to do a. Hopefully, I can get Larry to do a. We want to do like a car review for each other's cars, just for the general. I mean, we're
All
talking
right. Well,
about
we're
it,
gonna
but
wrap this up with yours.
oh, yeah. Let's do that. All right. But I think that'll be a good idea to do that. I'm gonna make this short and sweet because there's ain't not much to say here. Well, there's a lot to say, but I'm not gonna say it. I drive a 2021 Toyota Supra. I wanted to because of the
That
problem
thing's
we
sweet,
discussed.
dude.
Because of the problems, thank you. Because of the problems I experienced
Is
with the
that
one
yours?
no, this is not mine. This is just a
Because
stock.
isn't yours a little darker?
No, mine's the same exact. This is the same exact model, except I have it black. Can you see my pointer, my mouse?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can. This is blacked out. Everything in here is all carbon fibered from the previous owner, except for these seats, which I was thinking about getting carbon. And this doesn't have the spoiler on it. I have a duckbill carbon fiber spoiler that I got. But it's got a B58 in it. It is not a Toyota. Let's get it out of the way. It is a BMW with a Toyota body. Toyota basically just kind of looked over their shoulder while Austria made it from the German engineering of the BMW line. It's basically it's a Z4. It's a Z4, really. Uh, so, but Toyota, if you wanted this nowadays, I could not afford my Dream Mark IV, which is you can't find one for under $100,000. Um, the the God tier one. I don't want a left-hand drive. I don't want an automatic. I don't. Larry will understand. I don't. If you want what you want, you're going to pay 100, easy 100 for what I want. So this one is what I ended up with. It was a resurgence of since my father after my father died. Um, almost 10 years ago now, I finally had the opportunity to save the money. I had around $15,000 I had saved um, from over the last 5 or 6, 7 years. And I put it down on down payment and picked it up for a really good price of 50 grand, and which is good for it. But it's great. I love it. Yeah, I get a lot of questions about it. I don't really get hassled. It's a B58. It's not a 2JZ or anything.
The hell's that sitting over there?
I just don't like. That's a GT. I think that looks like a GTR R35. To be honest, I don't know what it is. That's a GTR. I'm going to say that's probably a GTR. I could be wrong. But I could not. I needed a car then. My Veloster hit 100,000 miles, and it actually absolutely tanked in every aspect. So I wanted to trade it in before it was completely unsalvageable. So I got 3 grand for it, put it towards this, and this is my current driver, and I love it to death. I kind of wanted to because my father and I lost the Mark III with that stupid pen warranty. We were both. My father actually almost went to jail over that because he had actually threatened the pen warranty guy. He said, and they have a recording of it. But he was going to quote unquote, "I'm going to drive down there and I'm going to crack your skull open with this bat." And that almost landed him in real hot. He almost served jail time for that. But my father didn't. He got out of it. He apologized, which is weird for my father. So, but I'm super happy with it. My plan is to kind of pay it off and then trade it in for a Mark IV if I can. I have a budget of 100 grand. So I'm really busy saving money. uh, and hoping for the best that I can find a barn find somewhere. But that would be my ultimate dream car, and
It's maybe 30 years old, but the Mark V that I own now is it's a wonderful. It's like my secondary dream car because of what it is. I got it. I wanted to let the hair kind of let the heritage live on to the Supra name and my father. That's why I got red. I really wanted black, but I got something just I don't know. My dad told me to get red, and so I did.
Black's
I
hard to
spent
keep.
very
Really,
hard.
yeah. Ask Starshine. She bought a black car. She well, she don't regret it. She loves it, but she pulls out of the car wash and it's dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's I love it. But I'm kind of using, and now thanks to the Electoral College, new cars may raise in price by up to $12,000, Larry, which would put a markup on all of our. Just saying, Larry can smirk and smile because you go to buy a 4Runner, it's going to cost you 10 grand more than what Larry paid for it. So, and me too.
You know what pisses me off is I thought I was the last year for the I thought I was the last year for the V6. They put them in another year.
Yeah, one more year. You got screwed out of that one.
I got screwed out of that one because I thought, I got the last of the V6 5 speeds.
Yeah, well, that would add 10 grand to it. That would add 10 grand immediately to the value of it. But we want to thank you guys. Larry and I are out of here. We're going to do an outro just like we did the intro, but we're going to get it better because we got to practice. But we love all you guys. We wanted to run down whatever cars we can remember what we own. We're going to bring on the episode 2 with Stitches and see what the hell he had going on when he was growing up.
We'll try. We'll see when Stitches is free, but I do want to do a show where we just scan Facebook for good deals and cars and see what's out there.
That's what's going to be the next episode. I was just going to say that, Larry.
Yeah.
See, Larry turned me on to
because this way we'll just share our screen and see what we find on Facebook, and we could show it. Like, hey, look at this, man. It's a pretty good deal here. Love to have this car, kind of thing. Like, I'll go down my wish list.
Yeah, we can do wish lists, and if you guys see something that you like that's attainable right now,
you can just throw us a link for the Facebook page.
Bam. Right there. On the
we'll
old
pull it up
block.
And we'll talk about it. We could do that too. If there's a car you guys are thinking about, I'll do a little research into it, find out its issues.
Yeah.
And
and we have
not
Larry
that particular
here,
car, just in general for that model year.
Yeah.
What the common problems are, which you got to watch out for.
I can help you with basic stuff, but Larry's where we defer to. You have a question of what's happening, I can hear it, I can smell it, I can taste it, I can have sometimes bad relations with it. Larry can answer these questions. And that's why Grinding Gears is here. All right.
He's like the normal car driver that just puts gas in and gets the oil change, takes to the shop.
Right. In the front lines
of
an everyday. That's
right.
right.
He'll buy a car based on looks. Or
looks, what are you talking about?
Get in it and drive it kind of thing, as opposed to really researching, is it reliable? What are the common issues of the car? Things like that.
How dare you? Are you saying I didn't? Are you kidding me? I spent like 6 months researching my car.
Yeah, the Supra. You bought a good one.
Well, why would you say that at the end to give people like this off-putting thing about my decision in car making? Okay, Mr. Pinto Fiesta man. I think we should say that for another.
Jesus Christ!
Don't make me quit like Becky. What are we talking about? Hey, wheelbarrows and owls are not my problem. All right, I didn't choose them.
Let's not forget, you owned a Cadillac. Okay.
I did own a Cadillac. It wasn't my fault.
Not a Goodyear Cadillac either.
No, it was a terrible Cadillac. Even Eric couldn't figure it out. But we want to thank you. And I am Mike.
Yes, hit that like button, guys. Like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed.
Yes. So I'm Mike, and
I'm Larry.
And we want to thank you for joining us here on
Grinding Gears.
Grinding Gears. We'll see you next time. Don't get into too much trouble out there.